Tonight, we're in chilly, damp Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the 5-0 South Florida Bulls stampede into Chapman Stadium trying to avoid a Tulsa upset. The Golden Hurricane 1-4 and hungry for a home win. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Tulsa alongside my friend Dan Orlovsky. I'm Clay Matvick, and tonight we've got a good one. One team of the 11 that are still unbeaten in college football, these USF Bulls, and in large part because of the play of their quarterback.
Yeah, Blake Barnett is a kid who started his career at Alabama, didn't go as planned, and so now 3 years later he finds himself quarterback for South Florida. Nice ability to throw the ball downfield and athletic enough to really join this top 10 rushing attack. And for those reasons, Clay, he's finally the quarterback he always thought he would be.
Well, Barnett says he's found a home at USF, but nothing compares to his real home. The 22-year-old has a wife and a son. 4 years ago, he was an Elite 11 MVP and the top high school quarterback in the country. So Alabama snapped him up, but he made only one start there and decided to transfer to Arizona State. Playing time was scarce in Tempe as well, so he headed east. He lands in Tampa, and through 5 games, it seems like a pretty good fit. And for more on Blake, let's go down to Paul Carcaterra.
Blake Barnett's football journey has been unique, to say the least. And I had an opportunity to spend some time with him last night, and what's top of mind for the quarterback, earning the trust of each and every one of his new teammates.
I think the biggest way to earn the trust is just establishing your work ethic and just showing that you're a good teammate. So having the guys understand that you actually care about them, that you're there for them, and that you're going to do your all to help provide for the team. And I think that gets misconceived a lot with me, is just because I've bounced around so much that I haven't really cared about the guys. I've been quote unquote selfish, and people can say that if they want, but I can genuinely say that everywhere I've been, I've actually cared about the team, and for whatever role I was in, it was to help the team.
Blake Barnett, there he is, junior from California, playing with his 3rd program in 3 years, and finally, it seems, living up to his potential, Dan.
It's been a great fit for him. He was very transparent about the past and his journey. Incredibly self-aware kid, and I'm really happy that he's really settled in and taken control for South Florida.
USF won the toss. They elected to defer. And so Jake Stone will kick it off. Thoughts and prayers to everyone in Florida and the Southeast trying to recover from Hurricane Michael. As we're underway here in Tulsa, this is Sam Crawford on the return for the Golden Hurricane, and he is out to the 17-yard line. And now the quarterback for Tulsa is Seth Boomer, redshirt freshman from Collinsville, Oklahoma, just up the road. And in his high school career, threw for over 4,000 yards, 44 touchdown passes in 2 seasons as the starter for the Cardinals. He made his first college start last week against Houston and did some good things, had some bad moments, but all in all, not too bad, and he gets his 2nd straight start tonight.
Yeah, it really didn't look like his first start. I'm excited to watch him play tonight, see if he can take that next step.
Shamari Brooks will start in the backfield, and he'll get the first play. It is Shamari Brooks on the run, Tulsa native, probably the best offensive weapon for the Golden Hurricane, and he was a bit of a question mark coming into the game, a right ankle injury that's been giving him some problems. Didn't play at all last week. Now Boomer's going to go to the air for the first time, and he's incomplete. That play failed to click. He was looking for Keelan Stokes, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Boomer, 227 yards passing and a touchdown last week. Did throw the interception. Probably got away with a couple of passes in that game against Houston, too, that should have been picked off.
It was a little careless early on, but I do like the fact that he responded consistently in that game.
A charge ahead with Brooks. Looks like he's got enough for a 1st down. If the play stands up, there's a marker down. And it's going to go against the Golden Hurricane. Mike Roach is our lead official tonight. And penalties have been an issue for Tulsa. It's an illegal formation on that call. They're averaging 8 penalties per game. Second most in the league.
And a big thing with the young quarterback that plays with really fast tempo on offense is you always have to remember to check, make sure everybody's set where they're supposed to be.
Here's Boomer on 3rd down and 8. Has some time, now running out of time, and he'll fling it to the sideline out of bounds. Good pressure from Kirk Livingstone off the edge, one of the focal points of the Bulls' pass rush. And so the penalty doesn't help the cause for Tulsa in their opening series, and they're going to have to punt.
It's interesting. South Florida as a defense does not play a lot of kind of cover 2 or middle field open defenses. 3rd and long, first one of the game, they switch it up for a young quarterback. Show him cover 2. He's unable to change his progressions when it comes to their pass game.
Here's Thomas Bennett on to punt for the first time for Tulsa. It's a low line drive. Skips off the turf. Tyree McCamps on the return gets across the 40 out of the 43. Good field position for Blake Barnett and USF. So the 5-star recruit at one time ready to make another start here for the Bulls. It's the first time he's been the guy. They thought he was going to be the guy at Alabama. It just didn't work out there. So this is his 3rd stop in 3 years, and it seems like it's coming together.
He's got some weapons to get the ball to, Clay. Very good throwing the ball downfield. Watch for that all night.
They're going to run it with Jordan Cronkright, the Florida transfer, coming off a huge game last week. Brought down by Bryson Powers, the outside linebacker. Good run on 1st down, give him 7.
These teams are very similar. Offensively, they want to play with tempo, and they really want to just spread you out and run downhill at you.
Going to run it again, and this time Tulsa is ready for Cronkright. He is slammed down by Tyara Stevenson, the nose guard, for a loss on the play. 3rd down and 7 coming up.
The good thing about this Tulsa defense is their base defense is really a 3rd down defense. And so I don't expect them to change much on 3rd down play with some high safeties.
You know, and they see this offense every day in practice. Like you said, it's a similar offensive approach for both USF and Tulsa. They were ready for that play. Barnett in trouble, gets away from the sack, and then finally slammed down by Cooper Edmiston. That is another loss, and it's 4th down. Edmiston, the middle linebacker, having a great year for the Golden Hurricane.
And like I said, Tulsa on defense plays really a cover 2. Reggie Robinson, the corner, is able to stay down in the flat. Blake Barnett nowhere to go with the football. Great response from the Tulsa defense.
First punt for Trent Schneider, the 28-year-old Australian. Jarian Anderson bringing it back across the 25. Short of the 30 is where he is tucked down. And there is a marker laying back at the 19-yard line. Couple of flags now. And that's going to go against Tulsa too. So they will have not so good field position when we come back to Tulsa. It was a block in the back against the Golden Hurricane. Back here in Tulsa, watching the American Conference on ESPN. Clay Mathick, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra down on the field. Let's take a look at our impact players as Tulsa takes over here at the 8-yard line.
Well, for the Tulsa offense, it's got to be their backfield of Corey Taylor and Shamari Brooks. Be who you are. You want to control the ball, run the football for your young quarterback. And for South Florida defense, their linebackers, Khalid McGee and nickelback Ronnie Hoggins. Second-level run support is going to be huge for this defense tonight.
Brooks is wrapped up. There is Khalid McGee, one of your impact guys. Second leading tackler in the
Illegal
American.
formation, 5 men in the backfield on the offense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Things keep going in the wrong direction for the Golden Hurricane.
This is some of the stuff you deal with when you're playing a very young quarterback who hasn't played a ton. You got to be able to make sure you understand where everybody is, who's supposed to be on the line of scrimmage, who's in the backfield, those little things for Seth Boomer right now.
Yeah, Philip Montgomery not happy with the start here so far tonight, I'm sure. It's a 1-4 team. Trying to end a 4-game losing streak. From the end zone, the handoff. And it's Brooks again. Brooks is a guy who, if they can get him going, can really jumpstart this team. He has 6 career 100-yard games, including 2 this year. But I guess it just starts with him being happy to have him back.
Yeah, his health has been a huge issue. He's one of those guys that uses his height to his advantage, right? He gets lost behind the line of scrimmage a little bit.
On 2nd and 11, there's Brooks again, right up the middle. Pushing the pile a bit. It's going to be 3rd down and long. Greg Reeves, the defensive end. Bringing Brooks down. His helmet comes off. And he'll head to the sideline for one play. Javon Thomas is going to come in. That is one position, Dan, where it seems like Tulsa has pretty good depth, running back.
Absolutely, very confident all their guys, and Thomas now a bigger back, hoping that he can handle some of the protection stuff that South Florida is going to bring.
On 3rd down, crossing route, Hobbs had it on his hand, and it's knocked away from him. Good coverage by Ronnie Hoggins, the nickelback, the veteran, making his 34th consecutive start tonight, and it's 4th down again. Tulsa will have to punt.
It's a nice job by Seth Boomer of seeing that pressure coming and trying to replace it on a little shallow cross to Justin Hobbs. But just set your feet, give him an accurate throw, and his big body might give you the opportunity to go drag Hoggins and get a 1st down.
This Tulsa offense, which has really struggled this year, 2nd straight 3 and out. They've got more turnovers than touchdowns this year. And this punt for Bennett. Taken again by McCants, and it's going to be almost identical starting field position for this drive for USF as was their last drive.
ESPN College Football is presented by Outback Steakhouse, where you can go big and go home with delivery and takeout. And in part by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
There's a look at pro surfer Maddie Barnett, who happens to be South Florida's Blake Barnett's wife. It's a young married couple. Their parents, elite athletes who continue to lean on each other.
Athletes learn from other athletes. Your wife, Maddie, is a professional surfer. What have you learned from her?
A lot. I'd say a lot of what I've learned from her is just character-wise. She's very graceful, very kind-hearted. And so, you know, having a significant other that you really depend on, you know, every day, whether she's been with me through the highs and the lows, so being able to rely on her for, you know, emotional stability has been a key factor in just the past couple of years. So her grace and her kindness have really helped, you know, me emotionally off the field.
That's good stuff from Kark, meeting with Barnett yesterday, and we had a chance to talk to him too. Very impressive guy.
Oh, very mature, transparent, like I said. Great journey he's been on.
3rd and 1, and this is complete out to McCants. And the big receiver will get ahead for the first down of the game for either team. Blake Barnett will try to get it to McCants as often as he can. He's going to have to come out for one play. His helmet came out. But McCants is a 5'11", 240-pound receiver, a very unique player by any standard.
He's perfect for college football today. He's a receiver, surely by position, but he's built like a back, and they just put him on the perimeter, get it to him as much as possible.
There's Cronkright churning ahead to the 42-yard line of Tulsa. Cooper Edmiston makes the tackle. But one thing you notice right away with USF is this is a team with elite speed. They've got it outside, they've got it in the backfield. Even Barnett can run a bit.
A little undersized, but they beat people by getting to the perimeter on offense, utilizing that speed and playing super fast on defense.
Penalty flags again for the 2nd and 4
False start.
flag.
Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Demetrius Harris, the left guard, who moved too early. Let's go to the impact players.
for this USF offense, it's got to be Cronkright and McCants. You guys are going to get your touches. Go make plays and dominate in space. And then Zaven Collins for Tulsa's defense, their big-time linebacker. He's got to be able to run sideline to sideline tonight and have an impact. And then I love Hoggins, their nickel back. He's going to be important for them. I'm sorry, Travis Gibson, the defensive end. Make Blake Barnett a little uncomfortable tonight.
Barnett doesn't look uncomfortable here as he stretches the field. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Solomon. And pretty well covered in the secondary by Allie Green. The cornerback out of Austin, Texas, was there step for step.
This is a really big part of what South Florida wants to do on offense. If you're going to play Solomon one-on-one on the outside, it's going downfield. Beautifully thrown ball by Barnett. I promise you, Solomon is going to make that catch more often than not tonight.
Well, Solomon missed last week with an ankle injury, so he's back for the first time in a couple of weeks. But he is their big play threat. We'll see if they go back to him here on 3rd down and 9. Barnett slides up in the pocket. Going deep, he's got St. Felix down there. Some contact. No penalty flags. McKinley Whitfield, the strong safety, appeared to bump into Randall St. Felix, but no flags.
And Whitfield gets away with run right here. I mean, they do a great job of stretching the field vertically, and he just bangs St. Felix as he's going up to make the catch. I mean, obvious pass interference for Tulsa on defense. Got away with that flag not getting called.
So this possession dries up for USF. Schneider on for the second time. And USF is able to keep it out of the end zone. That's going to be down inside the 1. A 46-yard punt by Trent Schneider and covered nicely by Colin McGee. Long field again for Tulsa when we come back as the special teams flashes for the Bulls. Well, they looked at it again, and it was actually a touchback. So Tulsa's going to have it at the 20.
Remember, it's where the ball is. It's not necessarily where the South Florida player is. If that ball crosses that goal line plane at all, automatic touchback. And what a break of events for Tulsa, gaining about 20 yards, obviously, on that touchback.
This is Javon Thomas getting his first touch. He takes a shot at the 28-yard line. That's a penalty flag. That could be targeting on Hoggins. We'll see. Javon Thomas on his first run, it's a good one, but then he pays for it at the end, and Hoggins knows he could be in trouble here. Been a
Personal foul,
start.
targeting, defense number 19. Previous play is under review.
So the play is under review. Now let's see if Hoggins is going to get a break and get this call reversed. They're looking at it upstairs. Now, targeting is forcible contact.
But here's the thing, Clay, 24, Roberts cuts him off.
Yeah, it's forcible contact to the head or neck of a defenseless opponent with a launch or a thrust. And that's what they're looking at here. I see what you're saying, that if Thomas hadn't been cut down, that maybe the area that he was striking at wouldn't have been the head or neck area.
Yeah, because he gets cut off by Roberts right at that last second. Hoggins isn't anticipating that collision. I just hate to see a really good football player get thrown out of the game for something that is in a great deal not in his control in that moment.
Ronnie Hoggins, senior out of Coconut Creek, Florida. Went to the same high school as Calvin Ridley. And talk about something that'll make you a good cover guy, which Hoggins certainly is. It's covering Calvin Ridley every day in practice.
After review, there is no targeting on the field. Number 19 may remain in the game. It'll be second down.
Our replay official, Peter Voss, agreed with you.
Smart man.
The call is overturned.
Smart man. In that moment, you can tell that it was not A defenseless runner. There was no forcible contact with the crown of the helmet, so I agree with that call. Love that Hoggins gets to play back in this game. How about your point of him practicing against Calvin Ridley all the time, Falcons superstar rookie receiver.
So big break for Brian Jean-Marie's defense, keeping the stud nickel back in the game. Javon Thomas on the run here, and he will pick up the first down. That's the first down for Tulsa here tonight, a team averaging 24 points per game. They only have 14 total touchdowns on the year, second fewest in the American, and we talked about this before. They have 16 turnovers, most in the country. That has really been the Achilles heel for this offense, as Thomas doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage here. It has been difficult on offense, to say the least, for this bunch.
And I know it's easy to say, right? Don't turn the ball over and you'll win more games, but it's a reality. And with the team that, again, is usually outmatched, those turnovers are going to hold you back more often than not.
There's Boomer flushed out of the pocket and being chased. Boomer is just going to flip it out of bounds. As he was running for his life, Nico Sautel and the cavalry was in pursuit.
One of the things I'd love to see Seth Boomer do tonight, because I saw this last week against Houston on tape. We've already seen it twice. If one or two aren't there with your pass progression, get up in the pocket and run. You're a good enough athlete. That's going to allow you to get much better situations on third down.
Boomer, third and long, and it is plucked out of the air at the 41 by Josh Stewart, and he'll tumble inside the 40. Josh Stewart, tall sophomore from Cedar Hill, Texas, used every bit of his 6'3" frame to come down with that one. It's a gain of 26. They'll go with tempo. Flags down as Brooks gets the handoff. First time in Tulsa territory. USF territory tonight for Tulsa.
Offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's Kevin Bronson, the defensive tackle, who's offside.
You know, when it's defined for Seth Boomer, he'll place it exactly where he wants to. Up high, allows Stewart to go make the catch, and then the tempo, making sure there's no chance for any kind of review.
Just the big play that Tulsa needed. Get a little shot in the arm of this offense. And it's Brooks again, stepping out of a tackle in the backfield. He'll get a couple. Tulsa's had the league's top rusher the last 2 years. James Flanders, 2016, D'Angelo Brewer last year. They always have good running backs, it seems, at Tulsa.
It's really their identity, and they've got the offensive line to go along with it as well. They want to just run the ball consistently, especially over the left side behind guard Tyler Bowling.
Go back to the air on the slant route, caught by Keelan Stokes. And it's his first catch. That's a gain of 11 as McGee brings him down. First down and 10 at the 20.
I expect to see a lot of these inside slants from the slot receivers for Tulsa, just because South Florida scheme-wise plays outside. Is a good option for them tonight.
Brooks again. That's a good defense for USF. Near the top of the FBS in a lot of categories. Good sack numbers, tackle for loss numbers. Where they really stand out as takeaways, they've got 12 on the year. Brian Jean-Marie, in his second year as defensive coordinator, has done a good job. The Bulls defense. As Javon Thomas tries to find the edge here on the near side, and he is cut down at the 15. That's Mekhi LaPointe bringing him down.
I think Javon Thomas very early on in this game has earned himself some carries here. I mean, he's running very hard, difficult to tackle so far for the South Florida defense because he's such a big body.
Thomas got 15 carries last week, his first playing time of the year. Needed to step up because of the injury to Brooks.
Now we're going to see some stacked receiver sets out of Tulsa. They're going to use this to try to make sure no press, get some kind of switch releases for the receivers.
10th play of the series. Man open, it's Jarian Anderson, and he'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Tulsa. Boy, an easy pitch and catch there, and it's the first touchdown of the ball game. First career touchdown reception for Jarian Anderson, the junior out of Texarkana.
How about that? You catch the break again from the touchback. Instead of having to start at your own 6-inch line, you get it at the 20. Beautiful drive by the Tulsa offense.
Nate Walker comes on for the extra point. And it's 7-0, Golden Hurricane. Trying to snap a 4-game losing streak.
It's an early lead at home.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Now, Philip Montgomery has been looking for answers for this team, specifically on offense. Seth Boomer, the new quarterback, leads a touchdown drive, 10 plays, 80 yards, and Anderson on the TD reception.
Some really good mix, right? Some run, some pass, quick game to get the ball to Seth Boomer's hand, which is going to be huge tonight. And he executed well, but a huge play of that drive, Clay, the throwaway, the scramble throwaway, and that's growth from him as a young quarterback.
Yeah, redshirt freshman. His first live action since he was a starter in high school at Collinsville just up the road. And a really good decision on that series. Bentley Sanders hesitated a little bit, decides to come out of the end zone, and he is going to be driven down at the 17-yard line. The redshirt freshman making a mistake, should have taken a knee in the end zone.
And Tulsa again gets in those stacked sets to get their guys to make sure the defense doesn't press. We're going to run a little mesh route. Beautiful job of those receivers running next to each other. The defenders collide, and that's how you pop guys open against man coverage. Make sure they don't get pressed, get crossers running with each other or against each other. Make the defense communicate and run through bodies. Huge touchdown. Great design for Tulsa down in the red zone.
Now let's see how Blake Barnett and the USF offense answers. And Barnett fumbled that shotgun snap. Falls on it at the 11. That's going to be a loss of 5 on the play. Already the worst starting field position for the Bulls, and it gets worse.
We've had a little weather today, right? It rained all day, so we got to make sure as a quarterback, don't try to do too much. Secure that snap. Do those little things, especially when you're on the road facing a little adversity.
Barnett now sliding up, throwing it downfield for St. Felix. That was way off target. And it'll be 3rd down and 15. You know, we have to remember one thing about Barnett. You know, he's only been in this offense for 10 weeks, and at times you can still see that there's some growing pains and some things that just aren't real smooth.
You're exactly right, Clay. And this is his really 10th week in the last 3 years almost of football that's been consistent for him, right? So as well as he's played, it's still very new to him, very young responsibility-wise.
Going deep again, down the middle, looking for Wilcox. Hauled in. What a play by Mitchell Wilcox, the terrific tight end who they think has NFL potential, and he bails USF out of a real tough spot on 3rd down.
And we talked about in the open, this is something Barnett does really well. Beautiful touch up over Bryson Powers.
And now Chris Oladokin, the 3rd-string quarterback, comes in, and he lowers his head and gets inside the 40-yard line. Oladokin, the sophomore out of Tampa, he comes into the game for Charlie Strong. Another running play, flag down as Trevon Sands gets the run there. What do you make of this Oladokin appearance?
No.
Offside. Defense number 12. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Ready the 4th penalty against Tulsa.
Certainly not often where you get a huge 3rd down conversion and come off the field. I don't know what this is about. Maybe it's to utilize a little bit more of their zone read game with Cronkite in the backfield or Johnny Ford. But Blake Barnett had just thrown a beautiful 3rd down completion.
So Chris Oladokun is in the ballgame for USF. He was the Scout Team Player of the Year in 2016, dealt with mono last year. He'll pitch it to Ford, who will get the first down. He's out at the 30.
You know, Dan, when we broke down tape of Blake Barnett, one of his most underrated attributes is his running ability. So after the big pass, why sub him out? I'm on the sideline. The kid's fine.
It's interesting timing to do it. Obviously, it was part of their initial plan or something that we don't know, but part of their initial plan to get Oladokun some reps.
The offensive coordinator is Sterling Gilbert. There you see him. He's been with Charlie Strong the last 3 years. He worked at Tulsa in 2015 for Philip Montgomery. And his offense is top 20 in the country, almost 490 yards per game. But an interesting wrinkle here, bringing in the third-string quarterback, Chris Oladokun. Oladokun out of the shotgun. Trayvon Sands, the junior out of Miami, is in the backfield. It will be Oladokun on the keeper. And he gets leveled by Zaven Collins, the weak side linebacker, a guy I know you really like. And Barnett will come back in.
Maybe they're just trying to take some hits off Blake Barnett, right? We want to utilize the quarterback run game. Let's not expose him to an extra 3 or 4 hits.
Barnett, quick strike to McCants. Gets loose, and he's out at the 10-yard line. Boy, for a guy that big, he is nimble. Tyree McCants, the big senior from the Florida Panhandle. And Barnett will throw to McCants on this side of the field. Boy, Tulsa struggles to bring him down, but they finally do near the 5. That guy is a load, built like a fullback. Said it before, there's just nobody quite like him at that position.
Clay, you know who he reminds me of? A guy that I played with, Anquan Bolden. Just a big-bodied receiver. You did everything you could to throw him the ball because you knew it was going to take more than one guy to tackle to bring him down.
Second down and 4 for USF. This is Ford. A lot of room for the 5'5" true freshman Trevis Gibson. Jackson Player combined on the stop. So now this will be third down and about 4. They can pick up a first down inside the 2. 10th play of the series coming up. Clock right to the left of Barnett. USF looking for the equalizer. Barnett to St. Felix, and that was off the mark. Incomplete, 4th down. So what do you do here if you're Charlie Strong?
You kick the field goal for sure. I love the play design by Sterling Gilbert down there. They run Felix across the formation. It's a glorified screen, really. You're just trying to get the ball out to him in space and get some blockers out in front. Just as Blake Barnett, put the ball out in front. Make it easy on him. It's an easy throw. Don't make it more than just it is.
So Kobe Weiss will come on. They've only got 10 guys on the field, so they got to hustle one more man out there for protection. This will be a 22-yard attempt for the transfer from Tennessee State. Kicking has been a bit of an issue for USF this year, but they get on the board. Weiss hits. I think it's 7-3. Well, tomorrow we're going to have 2 of the biggest college football games of the weekend. College football playoff elimination game in effect between Washington and Oregon, number 7 and number 17. Then at 7:30, another elimination game in the Big Ten, Wisconsin and Michigan. Live on ABC and the ESPN app. And Justin Herbert looking more and more like a first-round pick.
Well, Kuiper's got him as his #1 quarterback in the upcoming draft if he declares, and he's going to have a chance because that Washington defense is nasty. Top 10 in the country, and I promise you, all the scouts that are going to go in to Oregon to watch his tape, this will be the first game they put on.
Their big weekend in college football. And that college football playoff picture each and every week gets a little bit more in focus. So South Florida is on the board after an 11-play drive that covers 78 yards. They have to settle for 3. Stokes and Crawford back deep. And there's Jake Stone kickoff that's going to go out of bounds. And Stone, the junior from Apopka, Florida, kicking himself
Free
now.
kick out of bounds. 37 to the kicking team. It'll be Tulsa's ball, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
All right, let's take a look back at the Tulsa drive with our Enterprise Drive recap. And I thought Boomer looked real comfortable on that last series.
Huge conversion with the high ball, right? Down the field on 3rd down, beautiful placement.
Stewart, then Stokes, and then the touchdown to Jarian Anderson. He got 3 of his key receivers involved on that series. And Boomer now tonight, 3 of 7, 54 yards and a touchdown. This is Shamari Brooks starting this drive with a run to the right side. And no gain.
Going back to South Florida kicking the ball out of bounds, I always want to watch the coach when the kicker does that. You know, kick the ball out of bounds and you give a team 15 extra yards. Coaches, that's got to drive them absolutely bonkers.
Special teams could end up deciding this one tonight. Here's Boomer now sprinting out to the near sideline. Takes a pop. And a 3rd down and long coming up for Tulsa. But, you know, you said it on the last series. One of the biggest things about that drive that resulted in a touchdown was his decision not to throw it into a situation where it could get picked off. He had 2 very costly 4th quarter turnovers last week against Houston. Really ruined the upset bid.
Now we're seeing South Florida defensively. They love to get in this 3-down package, walk around some guys, forces communication on the offensive line and the running backs. Who are you guys going to block if they blitz? Who's the running back have? Who's the offensive line head? South Florida loves this situation.
3-man rush picked up. And that's off the hands of Keelan Stokes.
It's the end of the first
and that's
quarter.
going to do it for the first quarter. 7-3 Tulsa. They go 3 and out on this drive. USF will get it back when we come back to start the second. Welcome back to Tulsa and college football on ESPN presented by Outback Steakhouse. Clay Matvick, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra. This matchup in the American, number 23 South Florida trying to stay unbeaten, but move into the second quarter down 7-3 as Thomas Bennett comes out to punt for the Golden Hurricane. Tyree McCants back to return. It's going to sail over his head and bounce inside the 5. Now did that one stay out of the end zone? No, it did not. That's going to be a touchback. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN+. So start your free trial tonight by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. ESPN Plus is a great resource for content that, in large part, up to now has been hard to find or even unavailable. You know, the Ivy League, FCS coverage there, plus every 30 for 30 film that we've ever made is going to be there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, if there's something that you want to see, it's not on television. It's easy to just hop on the app and get the opportunity to watch it.
Blake Barnett back out there running the offense for USF as we saw Chris Oladokin for part of that series moments ago for the Bulls. Zaven Collins makes the tackle on Cronkwright. So what did you make of the first quarter, especially for USF? They come in here with a lot to lose.
Didn't play well, obviously, with the drop snap and some of the stuff they did on defense, but hats off to Tulsa, playing very well so far.
Off the play fake, Barnett hit as he throws, and it's going to fall incomplete. Travis Gibson was all over Barnett just ahead of that throw. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
Gibson's really their best defensive lineman. He's progressed the most from the beginning of the season to the end. A little arm slap and then gets around the young tackle Donovan Jennings for USF. True freshman, only his 2nd start on the road. Gibson's got to have a huge night for this Tulsa defense.
Really impressed so far with Bill Young's defense. He kept Houston in check for about 3 quarters last week, even forced 3 turnovers. Now on 3rd down, they're going to try and get off the field, and they do as they're able to finally hog-tie McCants. Diamond Cannon, McKinley Whitfield get him to the turf, and Tulsa does another great job defensively. That's the second 3 and out for USF.
The Tulsa defense came to play tonight. What a fantastic play by their linebacker Cooper Edmondson, splitting tackles.
Edmondson just having a terrific year. Leads the team in tackles, interceptions, forced fumbles. The Tulsa defense is becoming a story here in the first half. About 13 and a half to go before halftime. Tulsa leads. Tulsa quarterback Seth Boomer making his second career start. He's from nearby Collinsville. He's the starter for 2 years at Collinsville High School. The Cardinals, under his direction, played pretty well. His dad is the principal at that high school. And Seth Boomer and Tulsa lead here tonight, 7-3 over unbeaten USF. That's Brooks on the run.
You know, Seth Boomer's dad, the principal, was a coach while he was growing up. This is a kid who's persevered. He only had one FBS offer. It was Tulsa, and Philip Montgomery, who's worked with a ton of great quarterbacks, loves his competitive fire. Says he wants to be intelligently aggressive, Dan.
Yeah, Kark, he actually said that first start last week by Seth Boomer reminded him a lot of the other quarterbacks that he had been around, the Case Keenums and Kevin Cobbs and RG3s. The starts looked very similar.
The starter, Luke Skipper, who Boomer has replaced, is out with a shoulder injury. He was out last week. We're not going to see him tonight. That's going to be a first down out to midfield for Brooks. But I don't know if you guys feel this way. I think he might have lost his job anyway. He hadn't been protecting the football. That was a real problem for Philip Montgomery. Skipper had 10 turnovers in his 4 starts. And Boomer is the guy they're hoping to settle that down. But down is Boomer here at the 41. That's Tyrone Barber. And swings in and drops him for a loss of 6 on the sack.
The young freshman Barber just with great push, forcing the sack. Good job by Seth Boomer holding on to that ball. But back to Kark's comment about being intelligently aggressive. He wants him to be himself, and you still have to trust your eyes and let balls go, but the intelligence part is understanding when to be aggressive, when to throw the ball away like he did on that touchdown drive. That's where he really wants to see Seth Boomer grow play by play.
Now he's got a 2nd and 16 here. And he'll flip it to the sideline, incomplete. That wasn't a well-thrown ball. Intended for Anderson, he can't come up with it. Both teams have combined for 5 3-and-outs of the 8 total drives. And here's a 3rd down and 16 facing Tulsa.
Knowing how South Florida wants to play defense, loves the pressure, I would love to see a screen for Tulsa right now. Make sure Seth Boomer doesn't try to do too much early on.
He's got an empty backfield here. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Running out of time. On the run, Boomer chased, gets to the sideline, still looking downfield, and he has to take it out of bounds. So Tulsa's going to have to punt again. Josh Black in hot pursuit, the senior out of Tampa, having an excellent senior season. He chased Boomer to the sideline.
Black has become their pass rush specialist for the South Florida defense. He ruined the end of the Illinois game for Illinois in their offense, just creating pressure, 2 sacks at the end. He's had a great year so far.
So Bennett comes out for his 4th punt of the night. Thomas Bennett, his dad Darren was an all-pro punter for the Chargers. Kantz sees this one go over his head back into the end zone. And a touchback, 55-yard punt for Thomas Bennett. Now, we've seen a lot of 3-and-outs from both of these teams tonight. Not a lot of
Please set
offense.
the game
We'll
clock
see
to
if
11
maybe
minutes and 1 second.
they can start settling into a rhythm here in the second quarter. 7-3 Tulsa at home, trying to upset number 23 in the country.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and Chick-fil-A Nuggets. Tonight is Nugget Night.
South Florida's plans for a new $40 million football center that includes a beautiful indoor practice facility, and for a program that has been absolutely terrific. In fact, the winningest program since the start of 2016 in the American Athletic Conference. That's only going to build that program up more.
I mean, I know, and rightfully so, for a lot of reasons, UCF gets a ton of national attention, but the numbers don't lie. South Florida's been the most winning and best program over that 3-year stretch.
That's Cronkright, who's had a hard time getting on track here tonight. And coming off that 300-yard rushing game last week against UMass, that time brought down by Stevenson. What's going on here with Cronkright?
Tulsa doing a great job. I mean, Cronkright's a guy that's coming off 3 straight 100-yard games, 300 last week, and Tulsa's just committing to stopping that run.
Well, there you go. Right on cue, he gets to the 35-yard line, rips off a nice run for a first down. Manny Bunch gets the tackle, but first Cronkright gets a dozen. Maybe that will ignite him.
He does a really nice job of really running to where the offensive linemen are gonna be.
Here he goes again. Get a handful that time. Just an amazing game last week. 302 yards rushing, a team and conference record. He also had 3 touchdowns. They were all long touchdown runs. As Tulsa has a man down. Cronkright, the Florida transfer, looking good on this series. We'll check in on the injured player when we come back. It was good to see Tulsa's weak side linebacker Zaven Collins get out the field under his own power. He is a star on the rise for the Golden Hurricane.
He'll make a lot of people remember his name over the next 3 or 4 years down here at Tulsa.
6'4", 250-pound redshirt freshman from Hominy, Oklahoma. Very proud of where he comes from, about 45 minutes up the road. Incomplete for USF. Intended for Rysheem Bronson. And it'll be 3rd down and 7.
You watch him on tape, he reminds me of a guy that I played against in the NFL, Brian Urlacher, Hall of Famer. Just, listen, small schools, incredible size for linebackers at 6'4", almost 6'5", can run north and south and sideline to sideline, and just really instinctual. That's what Urlacher was great at. Great instincts in the middle of the field, very quick learner, and Zaven Collins, watch him on tape, reminds me of that.
Third down and 7 for the Bulls. Solomon in motion to the right, looking that way is Barnett. He's in trouble. Sneaks ahead, but brought down by Edmiston right at the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down again for the Bulls. Diamond Cannon, number 6, in on the play. And this USF offense continues to struggle finding traction.
One of the things we said, Clay, was this Tulsa defense had to find ways to pressure Blake Barnett. That's their 4th quarterback pressure of the night.
Out of bounds, decent field position for Tulsa to start this series, leading 7-3. Well, tomorrow we're going to have 2 of the biggest college football games of the weekend. 3:30 Eastern, showdown in the Pac-12, Washington and Oregon, and Wisconsin and Michigan in the Big Ten. Both of those live on ABC and the ESPN app. And Jim Harbaugh came to Ann Arbor with a lot of hype. He's really yet to live up to that hype.
Ooh, I can't wait to watch that game. You know, Harbaugh's brought there, Clay, to be elite, to take this program to elite. Well, here's an opportunity to start on that process, that journey this year. You got Wisconsin at home.
7:30 Eastern on ABC. College football playoff elimination game in effect. Jamari Brooks is slammed down here by Nico Sautel, the middle linebacker. It's a loss of 3 on the play. So a couple of college football playoff elimination games tomorrow. And you said, you know, that college football playoff starting to come into focus as we're now reaching the midway point of October. Teams are going to start falling out of the picture. That's a low throw to Jerry Anderson, incomplete. Boomer off target on that one again. Now 3rd and 14.
It's really, Michigan was written off after week 1, right? Lost to Notre Dame. Oh, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, they can't win big games. Like I said, this next 6-7 week stretch, they got everything laid out in front of them.
This might be a free play. Nope, no penalty flag. Boomer can't complete the pass to Anderson. And it's 4th down. Now the players thought there should have been a penalty.
The offsides, right? They snapped the ball because
no flag.
The center, Chandler Miller, snaps the ball because South Florida's offsides. How do you miss that? He's standing right over the ball. And that's why Seth Boomer tries to run around and make a play, because he knows it's a free play.
Back break there for Tulsa. And another 3 and out. That is the 4th for the Golden Hurricane. 5th punt already tonight for Bennett. Got it off cleanly under pressure. McCants backpedaling inside the 20. He slips. And he's going to be mugged down at the 20-yard line. 54-yard punt by Thomas Bennett. He's been the MVP of this game for the Golden Hurricane so far tonight. Blake Barnett, their starting quarterback, junior out of Corona, California, has landed with the USF Bulls. 22-year-old grad transfer. Was the #1 pocket passer in the country coming out of high school. Went to Alabama, made 1 start there. Ended up transferring out. Landed at Arizona State. That did not go well, and now he's at his 3rd program in 3 years. 5-0 coming into this game. But he has not looked sharp here tonight. That was intended for Darnell Solomon, and he was 5-6 yards away from where that ball landed. Whitfield in on the coverage, 2nd down.
No, a big part of the South Florida offense and their passing game is these receivers, while they're running their routes, will read the coverage, and sometimes the routes change. And so it's a big task for not only the receivers to get it right, but Blake Barnett needs to see it the same way as well. And we're starting to see a little bit of receiver quarterback being on different pages.
This is a program that has received very good quarterback play in recent years. Deep shot, Barnett, incomplete, flag, and this might be pass interference on Manny Bunch. Randall St. Felix wanted a pass interference back in the 1st quarter, didn't get it. This time
Pass
the flags fly.
Defense number 10, 15-yard penalty automatic, 1st down.
Manny Bunch, the free safety now. Christian Williams, the starter at the position, out for the year.
And they really just get a 2-on-1, 2 receivers going at 1 safety, Manny Bunch. And just that little bang on St. Felix right there, just that little knock. Underthrown ball by Blake Barnett really is what affords that flag to get thrown, because Manny Bunch was in good position.
Mentioned Christian Williams, assist on his spine. And forced into retirement, actually. So they really miss him in that secondary for Tulsa. Johnny Ford finds room, and he gets across midfield down to the 46-yard line. Johnny Ford getting playing time the last few weeks because of some injuries in the backfield. He really looked good last week, making the most of his opportunities. Here he is again, and this time he's knocked off his feet at the 49. Devin Lamp, the defensive end, shot in. That's going to be a loss of a handful.
Call him a quick cut guy. You know, he's one of those guys that when he cuts and he puts his foot in the ground, it looks like everything in his body's going to rip, but he just gets the top speed super fast. 1 cut, that's what happened on that 1st down run. On the big chunk, just so quick, Johnny Ford.
5'5", 168 pounds. There's another fumble in the backfield. Barnett recovers, throws it on the run to the sideline, and St. Felix coming back for it. Makes the catch about a yard short of the line to gain.
That right there is why Blake Barnett was the #1 ranked quarterback in high school at one point. You talk about a shot off of his shoulder. That ball's ripped to St. Felix.
And Here is Ford, but there is a marker down.
Substitution infraction, 12 men on the field for the defense. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Too many men on the field for Tulsa. And USF will say thank you very much. And Philip Montgomery displeased.
They should know, right? They see this offense every day in practice. They should know the tempo and substitution and how it works. You can't afford that right now if you're Tulsa's defense.
6th penalty against the Golden Hurricane. Now Barnett hit around the shoulder area. Tyara Stevenson brings him down. Now Barnett, we've talked about it a little bit, Dano, the ability for him to run. He's been under pressure a lot here tonight and hasn't really been able to get loose outside of that pocket when it's been congested.
Yeah, Tulsa's rush is doing a really nice job of not only making him uncomfortable and having to move in the pocket, but not giving him a ton of lanes to run around with. 5 pressures already tonight and 2 sacks by Tulsa's defense.
Here's Johnny Ford again. And he's going to be met 3rd down and long. Bryson Powers with the stick there. We talked about the quarterback play at USF in recent years. Quentin Flowers so good. And it's another thing that Barnett's had to shoulder here, replacing arguably the best player in USF history in Flowers.
Flowers was dynamic, right? Just a fantastic football player. Barnett said, I'm just going to try and go be me. Now here's a huge opportunity on 3rd down. Very aware of this could be 4-down territory.
They need the 23-yard line for a first down. Barnett incomplete. Now that didn't look good either. On the run intended for Ford. Zaven Collins, who was knocked down earlier in this game, shaken up. He had the pressure on Barnett.
That's one of the things you love about Zaven Collins. Not only is he a great linebacker, they've really started to put him as a rush guy and make him rush. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they switch it up. So 3rd down, as South Florida goes for this on 4th down, love to see him drop back and play some zone here as they blitz last down.
Bulls 5 for 6 on 4th down this season, but they're going to be wiped out here. It's Collins again. Barnett slipped in the backfield. That's the 3rd sack for the Golden Hurricane tonight. And there's your young Brian Urlacher.
And that's why Bill Young's their defensive coordinator and not me, because he decides to bring pressure again. Collins off the edge. And it's a little bit of a coming out party for him right now. Clay, he's just such a dynamic athlete. There's really no restriction to what he cannot do. Too fast to get to Blake Barnett before he can move. And I love the call by Bill Young of, you know what, we've been really good getting pressure. Let's keep it going defensively.
The defensive numbers, when you look at Tulsa from last year to this year, they've improved dramatically. And now they take over. It is Boomer going deep, incomplete for Justin Hobbs, 2nd down.
Gentlemen, I'll tell you what, Zaven Collins' field level, that dude can get off the edge. And he's such an impressive young man, too. We spent some time with him yesterday. He's a valedictorian of his high school class. He's a pre-med major. He had one offer as well, Dan. This guy, potentially, I know you love him. You think he might be able to play in the NFL?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He'll be playing on Sundays. This kid, the question for me, is he going to be a 3 or 4 year kid?
From a 1 stop sign town, Hominy, Oklahoma. On that run, Brooks brought down at the 40. There's a flag down, too.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 93. That 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the run, automatic, first down.
That's Tyrone Barber.
Yeah, for Zaven Collins, first of all, great athlete. Not good, but great athlete. Very quick learner. You can watch him on tape. He'll get beat by one play as it did in Houston. He'll come back with it and he'll learn from it. Just really great natural feel for the game. You know, Kark, you mentioned, you know, the only one scholarship offer. This is a kid that went to 12 camps on his own time and dime before his senior season. The last one was Tulsa. That's how the scholarship offer happened.
Unbelievable. And I know, Dano, you went to a ton of camps as well when you were a high school quarterback. The pressure, but to arrive on the big stage and playing on national television on a Friday night making those plays. This kid, we met with him yesterday. He's so impressive, and he's calm,
False
he's
start.
intelligent.
Offense number 74, 5-yard penalty, first down.
He's a pre-med student, guys. You know, he's, like you say, he's sharp as a knife. And he wants to be a doctor, but the football thing might get in the way for him. He is that good. Here's Shamari Brooks looking for room on the left edge. Kevin Kegler, the defensive tackle, brings him down. Second down here for Tulsa. You know, under 5 minutes to go now here before halftime. And Tulsa can add to their lead going into the locker room here if they can sustain a drive. And USF, which is undefeated on the year, one of 11 unbeaten teams, they're on the ropes. Here's Boomer. Setting, throwing over the middle, incomplete, knocked down. It was intended for Stokes. And there was Hoggins again. Ronnie Hoggins has been very good in the secondary for USF.
My man, Ronnie Hoggins, playing man-to-man. I love the aggressiveness by Seth Boomer. Just gets it up over Khalid McGee, but Hoggins, great job of playing man-to-man and trail technique on the back hip. This kid is a prototype nickel, pit bull nickel defensive back. Love his toughness.
Very big, 5'8", 177, but covers a lot of ground, throws his weight around too. Boomer stepping up, tucks inside the 40. He's going to get the first down and more. Scampers out of bounds near the 22-yard line. What a run for Seth Boomer. Biggest play of the night offensively for Tulsa.
And I had mentioned early on, when you get that pressure, Seth Boomer, just run. You're a good enough athlete. It's something you do well. I love the decision. And then the athleticism to not only get downfield, make a couple guys miss, pick up some extra yards. Huge third down conversion.
After the 33-yard pickup, it's Brooks sidestepping a tackle in the backfield and turning a bad play into something positive. LaPointe finally gets him down at the 16. That's a gain of 8 yards for Brooks.
And I'd really like to see Tulsa just pull back their tempo a little bit here, right? You've got about 3:45 left in this half. No reason to go crazy fast and allow South Florida to have a ton of time.
Brooks again. And he'll spin ahead for the first down. Shamari Brooks, the product of Union High School right here in Tulsa. Such good high school football in this part of the country. And now it's first down and goal to go for the Golden Hurricane, looking to add to their lead, the number 23 team in the land. It's clear they're getting South Florida on an off night, trying to take advantage of that. Boomer to the end zone. Incomplete. Pretty well covered there by Hoggins again. Tulsa wants a flag. They're not going to get one. It was intended for Keelan Stokes.
And Hoggins is just so good with his hands at the line of scrimmage. They try to get Stokes just to the back corner. Hoggins runs the route for him. Just very physical for an undersized guy. Beautiful play at the back corner.
Here's Brooks looking for the edge. No way. Mekhi LaPointe, great pursuit. And now it's third down and goal. Tulsa this year, touchdowns in just 47% of their trips into the red zone.
And if you're Tulsa right now and Philip Montgomery, be ready, because South Florida loves in this situation to blitz everybody. All out, zero blitz. If you're Seth Boomer in that offense, have a plan if you're going to get a screen out or it's a one-on-one matchup.
USF looking for a stop here on third down and goal. Here's Boomer. Plenty of time to throw. Incomplete. Should have been caught at the 1-yard line, but it was dropped. Jarian Anderson is going to be mad at himself for that one. And it's fourth down. And the field goal unit will come out.
Boomer does a nice job of just kind of hanging in that pocket. Holds it long enough. Beautiful protection by the offensive line. And golly, if you're going to pull off this upset, Clay, that's one Jarian Anderson needs to come down with.
He made his first career touchdown reception in the first quarter. Should have had another catch for sure and maybe another touchdown. And before the 29-yard field goal attempt, play whistle dead. Penalty flags on the play. Man, a lot of penalties in this first
Illegal
half.
snap, 42 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
They get a longer field goal attempt now for Nate Walker. That's penalty number 8 against Tulsa. That is their average per game this year, and they've already
We
got
just set the
8.
game clock to 2 minutes, 32 seconds.
And it's
2,
both sides
3,
of it right
2.
now. If you're
Thank
Tulsa, you're going, we want to beat the number 23 ranked team in the country. We can't have drops. We can't have penalties. At the same time, South Florida, you can't let a team that's inferior to you hang around.
The walk-on, Nate Walker, 8 of 11 on the year, a long of 40. This from 34 now. And he got it. So Tulsa gets points out of the series. Probably should have had a touchdown, but upset alert here in Tulsa. It's now 10-3 Golden Hurricane leading South Florida. 10 a.m. Eastern, Sunday NFL Countdown goes all access with Jared Goff and the 5-0 Rams. Then our Monday Night Football matchup sees Aaron Rodgers and the Packers taking on the 49ers at 8 o'clock Eastern. All available on the app so you can watch anywhere. So Rodgers dealing with a sore left knee. We'll see how he plays on Monday night. Quite a career for Aaron Rodgers.
You know, we were actually drafted the same year. Same agent, trained in the same place. Our careers took a little bit of a different direction.
Divergent.
He's going to be one of the greatest of all time, but just a remarkable dude. Actually taught me how to body surf, Clay. You probably don't know much about that, but taught me how to body surf in Laguna, in the beaches of California. But a remarkable, remarkable player. Took a lot of losses to that guy over my 12-year career in the NFC North.
Yeah, you had a good career too, my friend. Body surfing. At 6'6", I would think, you know, that's an advantage being that tall. Touchback, and let's go to the studio for an update with Chris Cotter.
All right, Clay, Dan, halftime's coming up in a little bit. Jesse Palmer will join me. We'll talk about which team he thinks is the best in the state of Florida. A lot of candidates, given the way these teams have played over the last few weeks. We'll talk about Wisconsin, what their game plan needs to be going up against Michigan in the Big House tomorrow. And then Georgia, they begin their gauntlet in Baton Rouge. What do the Dogs have to do to keep it going? That's all coming up at the half, guys. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, Georgia's got a tough one. Saturday night in Baton Rouge, never easy.
Don't be surprised if they turn to a backup quarterback of theirs, too, the young freshman Justin Fields, Clay.
Now we'll see what USF can do here with well over 2 minutes to go. That's the tight end Mitchell Wilcox moving the sticks. Blake Barnett hasn't been real sharp. 7 for 15 before that completion. As he goes back to the ground game and hands off to Cronkwright. Barnett 96 yards passing. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but it just hasn't looked right on this side of the ball for USF.
I think the biggest thing is going back to this is only his 10th week in this offense again. And so he really just looks unsettled at times, right? Unsure of what he's doing and a little bit unsettled.
Cronkwright stutter steps. And he's going to be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up. Barnett came to USF with 2 years of eligibility remaining. His offensive coordinator, Sterling Gilbert. And Barnett, they've had a nice relationship. Not on 3rd down, though, tonight. It hasn't looked good. 2 of 8. Cronkwright on the run, and he's going to be stacked up and pushed back. Now, did he get enough? Zaven Collins again in on the tackle, and they are going to give it to Cronkwright. Moving the chains here with a little over a minute to go.
A really good job, Cronkwright. A transfer himself from Florida, just making sure, go get that 1 yard in that time.
Back to Cronkwright. And right into the line, a gain of 2. And we'll see if there's a timeout here. Yep. USF calling their first timeout. They've got 2 remaining.
A little confused by the play call. I'd love to see the ball get put in the air right now under a minute left to play in the half.
55 seconds to go before halftime. It's a good look at Saturday menu on the networks. Florida, Vanderbilt, Washington, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern. That's going to be a big one. Loser is likely out of that college football playoff scenario. How about the American UCF and Memphis? That's a rematch of last year's American title game. We talked about Wisconsin, Michigan, the Big Ten. That's going to be Big 2 in Ann Arbor.
So many great games. You know, the Washington-Oregon game is fascinating because I'm really interested to see how the Oregon DBs, who struggled with some of the bigger receivers they played against this year, how do they handle some of the Washington guys that have some size to them?
Barnett going to throw here with under a minute to go before half, and well incomplete again, intended for McCants. That was overthrown by Barnett. Whitfield was all over the big receiver for USF.
And I really do believe that this Tulsa defense, having seen this offensive scheme so much in practice, understands, listen, it's run, shots, and that's all South Florida has tried to do tonight is take shots, and the DBs have stayed on top of receivers.
3rd and 8, Solomon in motion. Barnett looks to him, finds Solomon, first down. Clock will stop to move the chains. This team at about 170 yards of total offense here in the half. But it's but maybe they can get a touchdown here before halftime. Barnett has time. He's going to take a shot to the end zone. Man, incomplete. That was Stanley Clairvaux, the man he was looking for, and Allie Green had pretty good coverage.
Just 2 hitches too late for Blake Barnett because you're running out of real estate to Clairvaux. Clairvaux does a nice job of trying to come back and make a play. But Allie Green in perfect position. That's been the story tonight so far through the Tulsa defense. Your DBs have been in consistent position on the ball.
34 seconds to go before half. Barnett getting some pressure. Hit, incomplete. Travis Gibson again, getting in the backfield and being disruptive. He has the entire half.
Our 2 impact players
Put on the
tonight
field
play
is a forward pass. It'll be 3rd down and incomplete.
Zaven Collins and Travis Gibson. Both those guys have stepped up and dominated this first half so far.
Now Barnett looking to the sideline. McCants is in the slot to the wide side of the field. They need the 30-yard line for a first down. Barnett, he's going to take a shot. Solomon, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Keanu Hill. And Tulsa has forced a turnover. The final seconds here of the first half. How about this Bill Young defense tonight, my friend?
Bill Young has been a step ahead of Sterling Gilbert with his play calls, but his kids on defense have done exactly what they've been coached to do. Hill just playing as a cover 2 corner, understanding what the offense is trying to do, the situation of the game. We'll see him at the bottom of our screen. Really just cover 2 corner, right? That you've got a flat responsibility, but if there's no threat, just trail. If there's no threat to the flat going towards the sidelines and short, just play in trail technique. You've got safety help over the top. It's going to be you're going to force Blake Barnett to throw the perfect ball. And Keanu Hill in the exact position that he needs to be in. Great play.
Big turnovers. Tulsa gets it back. 5th interception of the year thrown by Barnett. And Tulsa's going to take a lead into the locker room. Yeah, it's a cold, damp night here in Tulsa. The crowd, kind of reflects the weather. But Tulsa came here to play tonight, and USF doesn't look like the number 23 team in the country after one half.
Tulsa brought a little heat tonight. especially on the defensive side of the ball. South Florida's going to have to come back ready to play in this second half.
Halftime in Tulsa. Let's go to the studio with Chris and Jesse.
Thank you, Clay.
You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Now we're on upset alert here in Tulsa. The number 23 team in the country, the USF Bulls. They did not play very well in that first half, but they're only down a touchdown at the break. Clay Matvick, Dan Orlovsky back with you. Paul Carcaterra down on the field. So what'd you make of that first 30 minutes?
Well, obviously a great start for Tulsa, right? But if you're trying to really pull this upset off at home, don't do the little things the wrong way. Clean up some of the penalties, right? And then South Florida, wake up. You're the 23 team in the country. Wake up and make some plays.
Neither offense looked good in that first half. Get more into that. Tulsa defense, different story. As USF will start with the football here in the second half. Now, you mentioned the defense led by defensive coordinator Bill Young. He's been around the block a time or two, doing a pretty good job against these Bulls.
He dialed up some pressures too, Clay. Travis Gibson off the edge has been an absolute force to be reckoned with. And then finishing off Zaven Collins, another impact player for this defense. I mean, they've pressured Blake Barnett 8 times tonight. 3 of them have resulted in sacks. Bill Young calling a beautiful game. South Florida's got to figure out a way to protect Blake Barnett.
Bill Young in his 4th year as defensive coordinator, I'm sure happy with those numbers. This is his 2nd time coaching at Tulsa. As USF will try to get this offense cranked up, Jordan Cronkright will carry ahead for 6 yards on the first play of the second half.
I'd like to see Cronkright used a little bit more in this second half to keep some of the pressures off of Blake Barnett and really allow this offense to get moving forward.
2nd down and 3. Barnett will throw it for the first time in the half, and it's Solomon. And he's going to be close to the first down.
We've been good on defense all year. That's what Phil Montgomery had just told me, and he's right. The numbers back it up. Tonight, he said his unit's flying to the ball, and Blake Barnett, they're forcing him to get into his second read. They're really shutting down that first read, making Blake Barnett think on his toes, and the pressure's coming. Montgomery is loving what this unit's doing.
All right, Paul, thanks. 3rd down and 1 here for the Bulls. Big run. Cronkite gets loose. This is what he's been doing all season, and the Bulls have been waiting for it tonight. A long touchdown run for Jordan Cronkite. 66 yards to the house.
This has been the story for the past month for this South Florida offense. Huge gash runs up the middle. They get the defensive end, Mouton, just to hesitate for a second on Blake Barnett, and Cronkright runs literally by himself, untouched, down the field.
His 6th rushing touchdown of the year. Here comes Kobe Weiss on for the extra point. Wow. All 3 of his touchdown runs last week against UMass were just like this one.
Yeah, they want to get the ball in the perimeter so much, but they've been able to expose the middle of a lot of defenses. Great way to start the half for South Florida.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Clay Matvick, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra. There's Jordan Cronkright. Set records last week with his 302-yard rushing performance. And he makes this a game again. It felt like USF was out of this game. Even though they were only down a touchdown, that 66-yard touchdown run has tied this baby up. Well, tomorrow we're going to have 2 of the biggest college football games of the weekend. Big implications. Washington, Oregon. For 7 and number 17. And then Saturday Night Football, Wisconsin and Michigan. Also a top 25 head-to-head live on ABC and the ESPN app. Be interesting to see how that Wisconsin offense does against the Wolverines defense.
Man, that Michigan defense is becoming what we all thought they would be going into this season, Clay. And look at the Wisconsin rush games, about 287 a game. Michigan gives up 96 yards on the ground a game. They're number one in the FBS. They allow 3.7 yards per play, Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a defense that is absolutely dominant. A little bit of old school football is going to happen in Ann Arbor tomorrow.
Yeah. It's going to be physical, no doubt about it. Nick Roberts was knocked down on that play covering the kick for USF, but he was able to get off the field. Now on first down, this is Shamari Brooks for Tulsa. Sawtell on the tackle. Second down.
Keep in mind, guys, Seth Boomer, redshirt freshman. Only 3 completions in that first half. Head coach Phil Montgomery told me he has to relax, settle down, go through his reads and his progressions, and the run game will be his biggest boost.
And he's going to go to the run here again with Brooks, trying to find his way on the right side. McGee makes the tackle. Boomer through the air, fellas. 8 straight incompletions since that touchdown drive.
Yeah, but here's the thing. These offenses, sometimes they're so predicated on tempo, Clay, that there's not a ton of creativity. Then every ball's a shot downfield. So, no, you're not going to hit a lot of them. There's very little intermediate or quick passing games as part of these offenses because they base themselves so much on tempo.
Well, Boomer will try to throw here, pointing downfield, trying to direct traffic, and then he tries to shove it into a tight window to Justin Hobbs, who has been, I'm sure for Philip Montgomery, eerily quiet tonight. He's their big play receiver and has done nothing here tonight.
Been very quiet. They haven't really tried to push the ball downfield to him that much. And, you know, this is going to be very interesting because Tulsa played good on the road at Houston last week, and Houston got back in the game late. They didn't respond well. Now South Florida comes out second half, huge play. How's Tulsa as a football team going to respond right now?
5 3 and outs now for Tulsa. As USF is going to get the football back, and they've got the momentum. That's out of bounds inside the 15. Great punt by Thomas Bennett. That's 58 yards on the kick.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors. Drive your ambition. And Principal, Investments Retirement Insurance.
Charlie Strong, 15-2 as the head coach at South Florida since taking the job. His team had 45 plays in the first half, came up with 3 points. They have run 3 plays so far here in the second half, and they've already got a touchdown. So maybe this offense is waking up.
Only takes one. You know, with the speed that this team has, that's literally the case. It only takes one.
Now Blake Barnett's had a tough night. It seems like the run game could be the thing that bails him out of it. Cronkright again, that time stacked up at the line. It's Zaven Collins again, number 23, who's having a stellar night. The redshirt freshman from Little Hominy, Oklahoma, playing lights out.
I expect to see a heavy dose of Cronkright in this second half, coming off the long touchdown run, but also maybe taking a little bit of that pressure off of Blake Barnett.
He's got 15 carries for 122, does Cronkright, and the 66-yard touchdown. He's able to tie this game up to the 20. Cronkright. Edmiston there to make the tackle. It'll bring up third down and medium here for USF, who really struggled on third down in the first half.
And this is really where in the first half, Bill Young, the Tulsa D coordinator, came after Blake Barnett a bunch. I'd have to imagine that in halftime in the locker room, USF made some form of an adjustment.
Let's see if this defense can stand tall again. Golden Hurricane rush 3. Good pocket, and it's underthrown, tipped, and incomplete. That should have been picked off. Bryson Powers got his hands on it. That easily could have been the second interception thrown by Barnett tonight.
Bill Young flips the scripts and plays some zone, drops 8 guys. And Powers is just playing the middle of the field as a deep third or middle linebacker in Tampa 2 already set there. Blake Barnett does not see him at all. Throws it right to him. Powers, beautiful play. Come down with the pick to be a part of this knockoff.
Oh, Jarian Anderson is leveled as he receives that punt. Wow, what a hit by Chris Barr. Jarian Anderson, the junior from Texarkana, blasted by Chris Barr, a punt. Tulsa ball when we come back.
The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
Back here in Tulsa, alongside Dan Orlovsky, I'm Clay Matvick, Paul Carcaterra down on the sideline. Glad that the rain stopped. Carca's staying dry. It was raining about an hour before the start of this game here tonight. Boomer in trouble in the Tulsa backfield. He is dragged down by Kevin Kegler, the defensive tackle. He has been their best pass rusher here in the early season for USF.
The way this game is shaping up right now early in this second half, Clay, who's gonna make a play on defense, or who's gonna force the opponent, the offense, to make a mistake?
Yeah. So second down and a long 10. That might have been a loss of a half a yard or so. Here's Jovan Thomas picking his way on the left side, a gain of about 7, so third and manageable coming up.
I'm loving the energy of Khalid McGee, 2 and white. He's on special teams. He's amping the team up on the sidelines. This is a converted safety who flies to the ball. Was a Wisconsin commit in high school. Went up to Madison in January. Too cold. Had to stay in South Florida.
Good move. Yeah, he has thrived since moving positions. Wants to be a firefighter after football. Thomas out of the backfield. He's got the first down for Tulsa. Kirsten Johnson is able to snag him and bring him down. But it's a first down, pickup of 5. Tulsa will move the chains.
Beautiful play call. Know you're getting man-to-man. You said a little pick by Keenan Johnson, your receiver, on the linebacker. Kirsten Johnson, allows Thomas to sneak out and catch that little screen pass.
Boomer slips and falls out. He just never had balance coming out of the pocket. So Josh Black is going to be credited for the tackle for loss, but that has really set Boomer just not being able to find his footing.
And trying to do too much. There's no need to pull that. That's a handoff all day long to your tailback Thomas, and there's actually a huge hole for him to run there. Settle down, young fella. Settle down.
It's been a tough night statistically for Boomer, who's going to try to complete his second pass of the second half. Finds nothing downfield. He'll take off. Good run. Seth Boomer, first down. Chased by McGee, but not before he picks up 15. And Tulsa's back into USF territory for the first time in a while.
And really against South Florida, who loves to play man-to-man defense, I said it early on, and I'm going to continue to say it in this second half. This is something he needs to do. If everyone's covered up, no one's responsible for you run.
Boomer heaving it downfield, and it is incomplete, knocked down. Beautiful play by Micaiah Point, the redshirt freshman from Sefner, Florida, has played pretty well here tonight.
Yeah, they bring a cornerback blitz. And Micaiah Point, as a safety, has to play over the top and replace the corner. Great job of finding the ball and being in position to make a play on it.
I think the secondary for USF has done a pretty good job. Ronnie Hoggins has made some plays. Micaiah Point has looked good. I'll pick up a handful. Shamari Brooks knocked down by Sawtell. It has been Shamari Brooks as the workhorse tonight. But not a lot to show for it on the ground. 18 carries, 43 yards.
Really what we're starting to see is South Florida really load that box, bring an extra defender down there and say, hey, young Seth Boomer, you're going to have to beat us through the air.
Third and fairly long here for Tulsa.
South Florida is looking like they're going to play a cover 2 zone Tulsa's going to try to get something in behind these second-level defenders.
Drop play. Brooks, first down and more, inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. There haven't been many big runs for Shamari Brooks. He gets 17 on that play to keep the drive alive.
What a play call. And what a job by their center, Chandler Miller, getting up on really a safety to spring Brooks. I love that play call by Montgomery.
The Tulsa native to Union High School here in town. They fake it to him, and Boomer rolls out, and he'll cut it up. First down and more. How about the run from Seth Boomer? The offense for Tulsa hasn't been coming through the air, but they're starting to find it on the ground here in the third quarter.
And that's the right read, and that's an example of being confident in what you're seeing if you're Seth Boomer. Reeves does such a good job of crashing down the line of scrimmage for South Florida. Trust your eyes, pull it, use your athleticism downfield. First and 10 from the 11 now. And it's Brooks again. Might get one. Now it's about finding a way to win. And, you know, Seth Boomer, in his second career start, hasn't had a good offensive night, just 4 of 18 passing, but engineering a drive here that could result in points. You're right, and I asked him, hey, what's your next step, bud? And he said, dude, I just want to win. I don't care what the next step is, all that stuff. I want to find a way to win. Right now, doing it with his feet. And it looks like South Florida's bringing an all-out pressure here. Find a one-on-one matchup.
And no match for Shamari Brooks, because he went into the end zone untouched. His 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And Tulsa goes back in front.
How about the answer to the drive? You know, South Florida runs basically a zero all-out blitz. In Tulsa, all they do is they bring somebody across the line of scrimmage. It confuses everybody. With their eyes on defense, leaves that gaping hole for Brooks in the Tulsa offense. What an answer.
And how about the veteran O-line for Tulsa? You know, they have struggled protecting the quarterback, not just tonight, but all season, but they opened up some nice holes on that scoring drive.
You're exactly right. And then they leave it to their little tailback, playing big so far in the second half for Tulsa.
Now, Shamari Brooks did not play last week because of a sore right ankle. Back this week, Tulsa so happy to have him because he is explosive and a key man when he's healthy. He capped a nice scoring drive, 11 plays, 69 yards, and it's the longest scoring drive of the night for either team.
People are going to start taking notice of Shamari Brooks. He's a really, really good back.
USF is down again on upset alert. I'll start this drive at the 25. Let's go to Chris Cotter.
All right, guys, let's go to Air Force in San Diego State. Here's Ryan Agnew back to pass on play action. Fred Trevelyan open over the middle, lose one tackler, gets it all the way down to the 4-yard line. Then Chase Jasmine is going to finish it off for the Aztecs. Bounces off tacklers. That's a nice move right there to get into the end zone. 7-0. San Diego State on top early.
Yes, Rocky Lawn, he does such a great job with the Aztecs. That's a tough team to beat, as Boise found.
Probably a really tough place to go to school, too, right? San Diego?
Weather's terrible. Here's Johnny Ford on the draw for USF. Penalty flag down as he gets to the 30. Penalties have been a problem for both teams here tonight. Mike Roach is our lead official.
Holding, offense number 78, 10-yard penalty.
Well, USF took 11 penalties last week at UMass. That was one of the negatives from last week, and this isn't going to help their cause.
Certainly not when you're really trying to run the ball a bunch in this second half. Atterbury just loses control. If that defender starts flailing away from you and you hang on to him, that's getting called 9 out of 10 times.
William Atterbury, Tampa Bay area native. 4th penalty tonight against Charlie Strong's team. Highest-ranked champ from the group of 5 gets a New Year's 6 invite. And there are currently 3 ranked teams in the group of 5, all from the American Conference, including USF. Central Florida, Cincinnati also undefeated. USF is in trouble here tonight. Ford, no running room on the right side. Diamond Cannon, the star linebacker out of Killeen, Texas, pulls him down. And when I say star linebacker, I don't mean because he's a star player. He's pretty good, but that's what they call that position at Tulsa, the star position. It's like a hybrid.
You're my star broadcast partner,
Yeah.
the literal term.
Thank you for clarifying. You said that with a smirk on your face, so I don't believe you. Deep shot, Barnett, and that should have been intercepted. That's the kind of night it has been for Blake Barnett. There are 2 passes that should have been picked off by Tulsa.
I know the saying is that's why guys play defense, but again, Travis Gibson, great pressure, forces Barnett a bad throw. Manny Bunch right there to make the play. Plenty of room to run as well. Gonna have to get on a jugs machine or something tomorrow, Clay.
Yeah. Bunch can't haul in the pick. You see the numbers for Barnett. So a 3rd and 15. 3rd down situations have been many and poor tonight for USF. Barnett to the outside, and they're not going to get the first down. They went to their best receiver, Tyree McCants, and he's got a lot of muscle trying to pick up the first down. Can't get it. So now it's a 4th and short situation, and we'll see what Charlie Strong decides to do. I think he's going to bring out the punt unit.
No doubt you punt here, but hats off to Tulsa defensive back Allie Green right there. He's one-on-one with the big Tyree McCants, and he goes low, saws him off at the knees. Beautiful tackle, because that is not easily done. The penalty comes back to hurt South Florida.
Back-to-back 3 and outs for USF. After that touchdown drive to start the half. Now let's take a look at tonight's catch, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, and it's actually the interception by Keanu Hill in the first half as USF was driving, trying to score right before halftime.
Yeah, we had talked about just a great job of playing cover 2 corner and sloughing off underneath, and if there's no threat to that cover 2 flat, run with your defender. Got his head around at just the right moment. And that's a nice catch by a DB. Manny Bunch, you might want to go talk to Manny Bunch a little bit. Talk about catching the ball when it's thrown to you.
Not a good night for that young man, Blake Barnett. But there's still plenty of time. And only a touchdown difference in this game. And on the other side, Seth Boomer, who's making his 2nd career start for Tulsa. Things haven't come easily for him as well. But it seems like the running game is starting to find its footing as Shamari Brooks carries ahead. Get about 4 on first down.
And this is what's standing out right now with Shamari Brooks. He's doing such a nice job of hugging his offensive linemen. What I'm talking about is when he's running, he's getting right next to them, almost clipping them and hitting the holes at the perfect spot.
Brooks. And good run. First down to the 30, out at the 32-yard line, Shamari Brooks.
You see Shamari Brooks, he's getting it done, but you got to credit the offensive line. Field level, they are blowing South Florida back off the line. This is a unit that has a ton of experience, 113 total career starts. Chandler Miller has been starting since the first game of his freshman year, their center. These guys are getting it done.
Yeah, they've got some all-conference performers up there. As Kegler makes another tackle right around the line of scrimmage. Willie Wright, the right tackle, Kark, is another guy that the coaches absolutely love, a senior from Houston, Texas. 41st career start here tonight. Coaches say he's always got a smile on his face and a song in his heart. This is Boomer sliding up. Can't avoid the pressure, and he's sacked down at the 30-yard line. Boomer sacked for the 3rd time. And there's Brown doing the honors. Juwan Brown. He had a sack and 2 fumble recoveries last week at UMass. He'll come off the field for this 3rd down for Tulsa.
Here comes some pressure for South Florida defensively. So if you're Tulsa and Philip Montgomery, maybe add some protection, keep Javon Thomas in, and see if you can get a combo release. Maybe using Hobbs off some motion or a stack, something like that, because you know you're going to get man-to-man.
Draw play again. This has been working for Tulsa. It's Thomas. Big run. Inside the 40, the 30, and finally chopped down at the 23-yard line by LaPointe. A touchdown-saving tackle. 47 yards for Thomas.
Man, they wrapped Khalid McGee on a blitz. No one replaces where he was supposed to be. And it's, again, the perfect play call by Tulsa, whether it's been Bill Young on defense or Philip Montgomery on offense, just a step ahead all night.
That draw has really been bearing fruit for the Golden Hurricane. Now here is Anderson on the screen. Out at the 5-yard line, 1st down, goal to go, Tulsa. 18 yards on that catch.
So you hit a big play on the run, and you know the defense is a little tired. Hit him with the quick screen again, gain some leverage with the bunch, and now as an offense, you've got 1st and goal on the 6, seeing if you can capitalize on a touchdown.
This Tulsa drive started at its own 12-yard line. Thomas nowhere to go that time. Pushed down by Greg Reeves, the former walk-on defensive end. And USF needed that to stop the momentum, at least momentarily. Loss of 5.
You know, Clay, when we talked a bunch this week, we all felt, for the most part, Tulsa was better than a 1-4 record, right?
Yeah.
We did feel that they were a better team than their record had shown, and they're starting to really prove that right now in the second half.
Well, unfortunately, one of those terrific offensive linemen for Tulsa that Kark was talking about is down here. It's Tyler Bowling. And they're coming out to take a look at him for the 2nd down and goal play. Gives us a chance to remind you about the great games coming up tomorrow. Some games that are going to make clearer the picture surrounding the college football playoff situation. You got Washington and Oregon going at each other in the Pac-12. Wisconsin and Michigan, that's, you know, a college football playoff elimination game as well for the Big Ten teams. In the American, everyone's going to be watching UCF and Memphis. That's a rematch of last year's American Conference title game.
Yeah. I'm going to
It's a
take
3:30 game.
I'm going to give you a run of 6 here, Clay. I'll take Florida. I'll take Washington. I'll take UCF. I'll take Texas. I'll take a team named Alabama. They might be able to pull off that upset. And I believe in Michigan. I really do. That defense, Shea Patterson is starting to play better. They get Tariq Black. They're big-time receiver back. In Wisconsin, I don't know if Alex Hornibrook, their quarterback, can make enough plays. I really don't.
He's had a tough time of it here in recent weeks. Good to see Bowling making his way to the sideline under his own power.
So now, because of the injury, you've had the opportunity as an offense to come to the sidelines and really have a plan for 2 plays, right? So what do you expect South Florida to do defensively? What's your scouting report showing you that they like to do on really 2nd and long down in the red zone? Have a plan for that, and then have a bunch of opportunities. Where are we gonna sit on 3rd down?
Tristan Wyatt comes in at left guard for Bowling. And another run for Brooks. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown. Another gaping hole right up the middle. And now Tulsa opens up a 2-score lead. Second touchdown of the night for Shamari Brooks. He's over 100 yards this evening.
And that's why that injury.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 58 of the offense. That penalty to the assist on the kickoff. That's the first unsportsmanlike foul for number 58.
That's Willie Wright, the right tackle, the guy we were talking about that's always got a song in his heart. Well, he just committed the personal foul. It'll be taken off on the kickoff. How about Tulsa? Now with a 2-touchdown lead. Number 23 in real trouble on the road here tonight. Nate Walker comes on for the extra point. Out of the hold of Cannon Montgomery, Philip Montgomery's son.
And Tulsa knows that South Florida wants to play zero. And so they're going to take Chris Minter, put him on one side of the ball, and bring him all the way back across the ball. That takes Jamon Thomas, their safety number 18, out of the picture. So you take Minter, use him to block somebody, and knowing it's zero blitz man, take that defender out of the picture. That's what forces or allows that gaping hole for Tulsa's offense. Great anticipation by the Tulsa coaches.
The numbers for Brooks: 101 yards, couple of touchdowns, and it's 24-10. The Golden Hurricane, who have lost 4 straight, but insisted when we talked to him last night that, don't let our record fool you. We're a better football team. We are going to play well here tonight. And indeed they have. And they've got a team in USF which has been very good on the road the last 3 years. 12-2 away from Tampa, completely on the ropes.
And a big thing was the turnovers, right? We harped on it, and they told us if we don't turn the ball over, a lot of our games are different. Easy said, not easy to do, and they've protected it tonight, and we're starting to see this is a pretty darn good football team when they play like that.
Let's go to Chris for an update.
Just a reminder about what's coming up next. You got the Warriors, you got the Lakers coming up on ESPN2. That's 10:30. Kevin Durant just hanging out, having a good old time. It's preseason. Regular season starts this upcoming week. Wednesday night, by the way, doubleheader on ESPN. Coming up next here on ESPN, Arizona and Utah. Khalil Tate warming up in Rice Eccles. Key Pac-12 South matchup, so don't go anywhere. We've got a lot of football left to come to tonight.
Yeah, so stick around. From the American to the Pac-12. So the kick out of bounds by John Parker Romo. That's the second time he's done that tonight.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
Got 2 flags.
Free kick out of bounds on the kicking play, on the kicking team. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 11 on the receiving team. Both those fouls will be enforced. It'll be USF's ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
And Dwayne Boyle's in their personal foul. There he is. And here's a look at what Boyles did. It's going to be on the right side of your screen. The ball had obviously been out of bounds at that point when it happened, because that didn't look too bad.
This is going to be a big thing for this South Florida team right now because there's a minute left in this quarter. I promise you, none of these kids expected to come into Tulsa and have this be the situation right now. So you're going to have to really be great with composure. It's a young football team, right? Have some composure, some leaders step up, understand there's a whole quarter left, play by play.
And Chris Oladokin, who we saw in the first half at quarterback, is out again to work the offense for USF. He hands off to Cronkright, and there's the Tulsa defense standing tall again. No gain for Cronkright. Jackson Player, the true freshman from Waco, wraps him up. So is this just to try and mix things up, or is this a package of plays that they're trying to work Oladokin in? More flags.
Ball start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah. Atterbury with the 6th penalty for the Bulls tonight.
I'm looking at this as a coaching staff for South Florida. We got to do something, fellas. Our offense is not doing anything besides one play on a 3rd and 1. We haven't done anything very positive tonight. Let's switch it up.
Blake Barnett, 11 of 25, 120. No touchdown passes, an interception thrown. He probably should have been picked off 2 more times. Oladokin runs, doesn't run very far. Travis Gibson, who has been stellar tonight, tracks him down from behind, and it's 3rd down and 12.
Travis Gibson has been an absolute one-man wrecking crew problem for South Florida on offense. Speed is the name of his game. Tulsa on the road last week played 3 really good quarters against Houston. Let's see if they can finish this game at home.
Yeah, they weren't able to do that last week. We'll see if they can do it here tonight. They have got number 23, South Florida, shaking. They're down 2 touchdowns going to the 4th. 24-10, Tulsa leads. Back in a moment. Charlie Strong's Bulls ranked number 23 in the country. First time in the top 25 this year. They've got 2 Power 5 wins. Georgia Tech and Illinois. They got them in come-from-behind fashion. You can see what they've done in the 4th quarter this year. Do they have a 4th quarter comeback in them here tonight on the road? Chris Oladokun, the 3rd-string quarterback, in there for the Bulls. And on 3rd and long, he is spun out of bounds by guess who? Trevis Gibson.
Wearing his name out tonight. Bill Young spins down from a middle field open, cover 2 look down to cover 3. Manny bunches in his position, forces Oladokun to run away, and Gibson, again, the speed to track down the quarterback.
Trent Schneider shaked it a bit. There's going to be a short kick for the 28-year-old left-footed Australian. Former construction worker. Wishes he had that kick back. And there are flags down. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State makes a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to All-State.
Right now, Clay, what we're seeing on this Tulsa sideline is a team that was allowed to hang around a little bit in the first half. And the energy that they have going on, they truly, truly believe they're going to win this game, and it's a win that this program absolutely needs right now.
There's actually no flag on that last play. And Tulsa has decent field position to start this drive. See what they've done on the ground tonight. That has been effective here, especially in the second half for Tulsa, the ground game. Javon Thomas doesn't have any operating room on that carry. But the South Florida offense, which has really been anemic tonight, they've had 3 straight 3-and-outs. After that opening drive where they scored the touchdown, it's kind of gone back to what we saw a lot of in the first half of the Bulls.
Yeah, they've been bad. Credit Tulsa's defense, though. I want to give Tulsa's defense credit. They have been flat out fantastic in everything they've done. Their first down, playing downhill, stopping the run. The 3rd down package, mixing it up. Tulsa's defense deserves a lot of credit.
Well, the tempo has slowed down a little bit here for Tulsa as they got the 2-touchdown lead. Javon Thomas goes right into the line, pick up a couple. So 3rd down and long here for Tulsa. Do you agree with that? Slow the tempo down now if you're the Golden Hurricane, or do you continue to do what you do?
No, I want gas down. You're a 1-4 football team trying to pull an upset. There's plenty of time left in this game. Be who you are. And if you're right now, Tulsa, again, South Florida's lining up telling you exactly what they're going to do. They're in man-to-man defense. Find a way to get some runners, some crossers, figure out a matchup that you love.
Boomer, just 5 completions tonight, looking to throw. Down the middle of the field, overshot Keelan Stokes. Incomplete. And Stokes is shaken up, but he is to his cleats. Looks like he's going to be all right.
For some of these offenses to incorporate some kind of just completion plays, something where the ball doesn't go 30 yards downfield every shot, because they're so difficult to hit consistently.
Give Boomer something easy.
Yeah, something, a slant, some mesh routes, maybe a pick, something like that, where it's a little bit of an easier throw, especially when you're trying to keep this clock moving for Tulsa.
Now Thomas Bennett with his 7th punt of the night, and he's been good when called upon. Said it before, he comes from great bloodlines. His dad, Darren, played in the NFL, all-pro punter. McCants sees this bounce and takes a nice Tulsa roll inside the 20. So we'll see if the USF offense can get it going. Who's going to be at quarterback for Charlie Strong's team? Down 2 touchdowns here in Tulsa. Zaven Collins and Tulsa trying to pull an upset. This program hasn't pulled a top 25 upset since Christmas Eve 2010. They knocked off Hawaii. 14 straight losses against the top 25 since then. They've got a 2-touchdown lead as Jordan Cronkite runs ahead to the 25 for USF. This is a top 20 offense that really, Dan, has been shut down by this Tulsa defense.
That's exactly right. I mean, shut down. Bill Young, their defensive coordinator, has allowed their players to play fast. Travis Gibson and Zaven Collins having a huge game. Here's the thing, though. You have to make sure South Florida earns every single yard they get over these next 12 minutes. Do not give up a cheap touchdown.
Well, they gave up a first down there to Cronkite. That might be the key man for USF. If Barnett can shake out of it, he's got the arm talent to lead a comeback.
But I really want to see Sterling Gilbert give him a little bit of some completion stuff on first down. Get him into rhythm. Make him feel good about what's going on. Not everything has to be a shot downfield.
Well, on first down this time, they run it with Cronkite. He has been the workhorse. That's his 20th carry of the evening.
Credit Bill Young, the defensive coordinator. KG Vet's been a coordinator at Ohio State, Oklahoma, USC, Miami, and Oklahoma State. What they've done in the past year, the turnaround, allowing almost 200 yards less per game total offense for the opposition. And it's a combination of two things, he said. He's got better young talent, and they were decimated with injuries a year ago. Their whole entire defensive backfield was out at one time.
Bill Young, 72 years young. He can still coach some football. Barnett, good pass. Solomon can't haul it in. McKinley Whitfield there from his strong safety spot to help jar that ball loose.
This is why it's about Tulsa's defense. These kids have stepped up and made plays tonight. Solomon, a sure-handed guy for South Florida, should make that catch, but credit McKinley Whitfield. He came over on the top and broke it up.
Senior strong safety, over 220 career tackles, a lot of pass breakups too in his time at Tulsa. So now a huge 3rd and 9 for this Bulls offense. Pressure, Barnett slings it, got it to the 40-yard line to his tight end Wilcox. And the Bulls will stay on the field.
How about some sticky hands by Wilcox? Feels the zone, feels the color from the Tulsa defense, sits, and watch what a great extended catch by Wilcox. And now South Florida, okay, finally a first down. Let's get some rhythm going on offense.
Well, the umpire gets in there to hold up the play because Tulsa is able to substitute after USF substituted. Cronkite in the backfield, play fake to him. They'll get it to McCants. McCants shakes loose. Look out, here goes Tyree McCants into Tulsa territory to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 18. Here come the Bulls.
Okay, and a little bit of RPO, a run-pass option on first down, and easy throw for Blake Barnett, not asking him to throw the ball downfield. Good placement. McCants showing off again. Very difficult to tackle one-on-one. I want to see a lot more of this on first down for South Florida's offense.
7th catch for McCants. He's been targeted 10 times. Eric Mays wearing number 40 in a tight end on the right side. The converted tackle, they'll go to Cronkite ahead to the 35.
Tyree McCants moments ago ran by me. I don't think there is a football fan in America, if you saw this guy, would peg him to be a wide receiver. No. I mean, he's completely jacked, but his quickness and his explosive ability off the line is that of a wide receiver.
Yeah, built like a fullback, really. And that's going to be a first down. Edmiston making the tackle. Tyree McCants coming from good bloodlines. Dad, Terry Anthony, a terrific receiver at Florida State in the late 80s. But his mom, Tanya, really the one who he credits with teaching him the game. She was a great flag football player when she was a kid.
And in reality, Clay, 10 years ago, McCants is a running back somewhere. 15 years ago, he's a running back somewhere, but he fits college football with spread out and the quick passing game and a lot of screens and bubbles and RPOs. Really, it's how do I get a guy who's really good in space and very difficult to tackle out in space and the ball in his hands a bunch. That's why he plays receiver, and he's good at it.
And he's been their best receiver here tonight. Solomon, St. Felix, Clairvaux, Bronson, they've been relatively quiet. Barnett moving out of the pocket, throws on the run. Well, out of bounds, and McCants was the closest receiver, but well behind him. Now here we go again with a 3rd down and 9 situation for USF.
And Clark had mentioned Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, how they minimized some of the explosive plays by playing a more zone. Really recently, they've started to play a little bit more man and have done it well. And I would expect on this 3rd and long right now for them to bring some pressure, play some man-to-man defense, and see if you can force Blake Barnett into a mistake.
USF 6 for 16 on 3rd down tonight. Here comes that pressure. They run it with Ford, and Ford finds room, gets to the sideline, and gets inside the 15-yard line. Johnny Ford, the little running back from Miami, picks up 17 and keeps the drive going.
And it's the right call by Bill Young. Manny Bunch just loses contain. Ford, one cut again, sees the lack of containment by Manny Bunch. Huge conversion on 3rd down, but I love the pressure by Bill Young.
And timeout called for by Tulsa. With 8:17 to go here in the football game. It's a 2-touchdown lead for Tulsa, but South Florida's charging.
ESPN College Football is presented by Outback Steakhouse, where you can go big and go home with delivery and takeout. And in part by the United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com.
Central Florida won last year's American Conference Championship. They beat USF in the war on I-4. That decided the East. It very well could decide the East again. Here's Johnny Ford running into the middle of the line on 1st down. The 14-yard line. The Bulls down a couple of touchdowns with just over 8 minutes to go.
I like what South Florida's done offensively. They've taken an extra offensive lineman, brought him into the game. Eric Mays, their ex-starting left tackle, is now in the game. Understanding we want to run the ball a little bit, and it gives you a little bit added protection for the pressure from Tulsa.
He's lined up on the left side. Ford behind him, gets to the corner, and he's out at the 2. Nudged out by Manny Bunch.
How many times have we seen Johnny Ford make a cut so quickly with 1 foot? Watch how quick it happens. Just 1 foot, bop! Quick cut, and then Barnett getting out. You can see how important this game is to both of these teams right now.
1st down, goal to go for USF. 14th play of the series coming up. This is the longest drive of the night for the Bulls.
And they really like to get down to some restricted formations down here, use some space. Don't be surprised if you get a play action pass movement type thing.
McCants goes in motion. They fake the handoff. Barnett rolling out. He can run a bit, and he gets to the end zone. Touchdown. Blake Barnett makes this a 1-score game again.
Really, this is something they love to do down in the red zone. Play action, some kind of movement, a naked, a keeper, off a run fake. Allows them to be in space with some of their formations. Huge drive for South Florida in this offense to get them right back into this football game.
It's his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. Hasn't been a good night passing. Somebody got a hand on it. No good, and that is a huge block for Tulsa. Jackson Player, number 90, got a paw on it. And it stays an 8-point game.
Don't let being 6 feet slow you down, Jackson Player. Huge play off the touchdown for Tulsa.
Nice touchdown drive for South Florida. But Jackson Player, the true freshman from Waco, with the block of the extra point. It's an 8-point game. That could turn out to be huge. Fair catch. This is going to come out to the 25. Sports Center with SVP tonight. After Arizona, Utah, we're going to have reactions from Dodgers, Brewers. That playoff series is underway here tonight. Plus, Jesse Palmer breaks down the college football weekend and the keys to Sunday's Chiefs-Patriots matchup. Sports Center with SVP after college football on ESPN. Key for the Chiefs, more Pat Mahomes. That's all it is.
Pat Mahomes is going to light up the New England Patriots secondary.
So now we'll see what Tulsa does here. They've had 6 3-and-outs tonight. Can they sustain a drive? Get the momentum back. Shamari Brooks is their guy in the backfield. Nothing there. Let's go to Chris Cotter in the studio.
Just to let everybody know, coming up next, Tyler Huntley, Zach Moss, Britton Covey. That potent Utah offense coming up against Arizona. They'll kick in about 10.5 minutes. Over on ESPN News to start out with, guys.
Yeah. All right, Arizona, it's been a tough year. Khalil Tate, it's been a year where everyone thought he was going to be in the Heisman race, and it hasn't worked out that way.
Yeah. People have kind of caught up a little bit to it in that offense for Arizona.
2nd down and 10. Boomer on the keeper. He gets caught by the shoelaces. It's another tackle for Mekhi LaPointe, one of the stars defensively for USF. And 2 play calls here to start this series, Dan. You're shaking your head a bit.
If you're Tulsa, you know exactly what USF's thinking, right? Oh, here comes Tulsa. They're going to try to run the ball against us. We're going to stop the run and make them get into a 3rd and long. And sure enough, kind of playing into the hands. I just would have loved to seen something on 1st down, whether it's an easy swing pass like we talked about, something to maybe get some positive yards early on.
Some motion up front. Could be a free play here. It is. Hobbs, the intended man. Yeah, it's incomplete. It's USF offside.
Offside. Yep. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's it. It's Tyrone Barber, the defensive tackle.
Remember, we thought they had one early on in the game, and the refs, in our opinion, at least my opinion, missed it. So now another big mistake, and takes 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5, obviously. Now we're going to see these Tulsa stacked receivers anticipating man-to-man defense. Here's South Florida. They're going to play 0 defense. The safety, Jamon Thomas, is going to play about 4 or 5 yards. Philip Montgomery's got to see this, get something mesh-wise.
3rd down and 5. Pass is caught. And not enough for the 1st down for Jerry Anderson. After he made the catch, he was covered up quickly. And so it's 4th down. 4th down and 1. And Philip Montgomery's thinking long and hard about this. He's keeping that offense on the field.
He ain't going for this. They're going to try to get them to jump off sides or something like that. You can't give them this field position right now. I don't mind you trying to get them to draw off sides, but this is a punt situation all day long. Your defense played too good tonight.
Yeah, Thomas Bennett, who has been excellent, the punter from Carlsbad, California, will come on again. USF hurrying to get their players on the field.
Tulsa takes its 2nd timeout of the half.
And now we got a timeout with 4:58 to go. Timeout, Tulsa.
Better hope you don't need that timeout here at the end of this game.
Yeah, they got 1 remaining now. Quick timeout. Back in a moment. Under 5 minutes to go, and Philip Montgomery, the head coach for Tulsa, not going to take any chances here. He brings out Thomas Bennett to try and flip the field. He has been great tonight, the punter for the Golden Hurricane. 3 and out for Tulsa. Bentley Sanders is back. The redshirt freshman lets it bounce, and he's going to field it at the 19. And that's where USF will go to work. Down 8. Well, tomorrow, another reminder, Washington, Oregon. It's going to come your way 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Then at 7:30, a battle in the Big Ten at the Big House, Wisconsin and number 12, Michigan. Michigan has a brutal schedule the next few weeks, but they control their own destiny. All right, so here's an opportunity for Blake Barnett, the journeyman quarterback, 3rd program in 3 years. He's had a tough night, but USF is down 1 score. They've got the football. They run it with Cronkrite, nothing up the middle.
You know, I've been watching Blake Barnett the entire time this evening. He hasn't been rattled once. Yeah, he's a journeyman quarterback, and he's at his 3rd spot. But keep in mind, this guy is married. He has a kid. Yeah, only 7th career start, but he's been completely positive. He's never been rattled or down once this entire evening.
He's a surfer, right? I mean, this guy goes and shreds waves with his wife, so a little pressure in the 4th quarter shouldn't get him. I want to see if South Florida's receivers can make a play for Blake Barnett.
I'm sure his wife, Maddie, and son are watching tonight. Long shot to St. Felix. Contact in the secondary. Keanu Hill. Great coverage. No penalty flag. That was just good position by Keanu Hill, who intercepted Barnett in the first half.
I'm telling you, I've been let down, and so is Blake Barnett, by some of these South Florida receivers who have been so dynamic all year. St. Felix is there. Go up and make the catch. You've done it all year. Now, third down has become the Bill Young down tonight. What's he going to do? I expect some zone. Out of his defense right now. See if you can get Blake Barnett a little bit confused.
Huge play. They need the 30-yard line to keep the drive alive. Will Barnett pick it up with his feet? You bet. Steps out at the 34. Well, he hot-foots it to the sideline. They'll move the chains. Clock stops with 3:55 to go. Plenty of time on the clock, and South Florida has its full complement of timeouts at their disposal.
Kind of showing off what Carcat talked about, and not blinking, not really getting too caught up in the moment. Great composure there to find a seam to scramble for that first down.
We're going to throw on first down to the sideline, and it's a strike to Wilcox.
Wilcox doing a nice job. He really comes from the slot, runs a wheel route, and reads the defender. If the defender's high, he hooks up right in front of him. Barnett sees it the same way, drills him a strike, and now this little bit of a 2-minute offense for South Florida gets an opportunity to get going.
Back-to-back completions for Barnett. First down and 10 from the 44. Play fake. Barnett, he's going to take a shot deep down the sideline. Incomplete. Looking for Solomon. Bring up second down.
I can't say enough of the Tulsa defensive backs, because as a quarterback, you're thinking, listen, if I take all these shots downfield, some of them are going to get caught. Some of them are going to be pass interferences, right? I mean, that's their 9th ball that's gone downfield. I don't know if South Florida's caught one.
That was Allie Green in coverage that time. On second down, Barnett feels pressure off his backside, throws off balance across his body, so to speak, and Cronkite was the intended receiver, goes behind him. So now another third down coming up, as Gibson was in the backfield disrupting that play again. So there's Sterling Gilbert, the offensive coordinator for USF. What is he going to dial up here?
Well, he better send some help to Travis gets inside, right? I mean, I've got to chip him or something like that to give Barnett an opportunity to get a ball off.
Here he comes. Barnett eludes Gibson's rush, and he's going to pick up the first down. How about the feed of Blake Barnett to keep this drive going?
They tried to block Travis Gibson with a running back, Zaven Collins. Barnett, nice job of evading that sack potential. And we're starting to see himself start to use his feet. Great job of climbing up in that pocket just underneath the block. Starting to use his feet to keep this drive moving forward. Wilcox fighting down near the end of the play downfield, big block. And Tulsa's defense needs to regroup a little bit.
Now Cullen Wick, their defensive end, is down with 3:07 to go. As you take a look at the American Conference standings, the East Division, there are 3 undefeated teams in this division: Cincinnati, UCF, and South Florida. There are only 11 undefeated teams in the country, but 3 of them belong in the American and in the American East specifically.
It kind of speaks to the strength of the conference, right? This is a conference that continuously tries to prove itself, and the East Division is completely loaded. All 3 of those teams are going to play each other in November.
They continue to look at Wick. Let's go to Chris Cotter in the studio.
Okay, Clay, just a reminder to everybody, they're just about to kick off there in Salt Lake City. Arizona and Utah, we're going to start this game over on ESPN News. As soon as you guys wrap things up in Tulsa, we'll move it over here to ESPN. So Arizona and Utah getting underway over on News.
All right, looking forward to that one in the Pac-12. USF Trying to get to 6-0 for the third time since joining the FBS in 2001. They did it in 07. They did it last year. They're down 8, though, and they have 3 minutes and 7 seconds to work with. A good drive for Barnett, especially running. Here he is on first down from midfield. Complete. Caught at the 35. Solomon spins away from defenders, and he gets inside the 15-yard line. Whitfield finally gets him to the turf, but what a play at a big time for Darnell Solomon.
Yeah, just one-on-one. Tulsa blitzes. It's one-on-one with Solomon. Great catch and run.
Cronkright pushing the pile. And he's slowed up at the 12. So the clock moving here. And South Florida has all of its timeouts left.
Yeah.
But how big does that blocked extra point look right now?
It's huge, because really, if you're South Florida right now, not only are you thinking about how am I going to score a touchdown, but you're also getting a couple 2-point plays together, knowing that they're necessary.
Cronkright in the backfield. Barnett will hang on to it, and he's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Blake Barnett. From 12 yards out. Great fake.
And our guy, Zaven Collins, was there. He was right there for the play to be made. One false step following the running back. And Blake Barnett sees it, banks on himself, and wow, what a big drive. And now, this is where that blocked extra point comes into play.
So Sterling Gilbert getting a 2-point conversion play ready. 2:09 to go. And this Tulsa defense, which has been outstanding all night, we'll see if they've got another stop in them. Timeout. USF calling the timeout.
USF takes its first timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Blake Barnett. Such a tough night throwing the football, but he has scored 2 touchdowns here in the second half that have been clutch.
And Collins is right there, and he just steps down 1 step towards Cronkright, the running back. And that little hesitation from him is all Blake Barnett needed.
Barnett, 5-star recruit for Alabama in 2015. Made 1 start for the Tide in 16. Got replaced by Jalen Hurts. Decided to transfer to Arizona State. Saw little playing time there in 2 years. Ends up at USF. Has led the Bulls to a 5-0 start. Now trying to bring them back and avoid the upset here in Tulsa.
And we saw it early on. I expect them to use some kind of motion, pre-snap, running somebody across the line of scrimmage, seeing if you can get this defense a little bit confused. Don't be surprised if it's a 2-way read for Blake Barnett.
2-point conversion attempt for the Bulls. Barnett slips, looking, running, hit, and stacked up by Zaven Collins. It's the redshirt freshman again. And Tulsa hangs on to the lead.
How about the young kid growing up in a matter of 2 plays? Steps down on that touchdown, but playing zone and just trusting his instincts, following Blake Barnett. What's going on? Let me feel color, feel what's going on, trusting my responsibilities. And once you see that Blake Barnett scrambling, go fire your guns. You got to go shoot. What a great play by a young linebacker.
Dan, you compared him to Brian Urlacher back in the first half. And I got to be honest with you, I thought you were off your nut a little bit. I mean, that's a lofty comparison.
Sure.
But the way Zaven Collins has played here tonight, you're selling me pretty good.
He was just very impressive on tape. And when we talked to Bill Young, he actually said, listen, I've been coaching for 1,000 years. I recruited Junior Seau. He's not Junior Seau, but watching his tape reminded me of how Junior Seau dominated man amongst boys. We've seen Zaven Collins tonight look like a man amongst boys.
This game is far from over. You expect the potential for an onside kick. It'll be Jake Stone putting it on the tee. Now, will they kick it onside or will they kick it deep?
I would anticipate to kick this ball deep. You still got 2 timeouts left. And so even if you kick it off and you're going to get at least a minute on the clock knowing all you need is a field goal.
And that's what they do. It's not going to make it to the end zone. Brooks will watch it go into the end zone on the hop. And now can Tulsa work the clock? South Florida has 2 timeouts remaining. The Golden Hurricane have 1. Now the Bulls have been in tight spots before this year. You can see entering the 4th quarter this year. They've had some comebacks. They had a game that was tied against East Carolina and came back and won that game. And Tulsa leading 24-10 coming into the 4th tonight. A couple of touchdowns by the Bulls, but the blocked extra point right now is the difference in this game. That changed everything.
True freshman. And I'll tell you this, on first down, I want to see Seth Boomer in a naked bootleg, a play action, some kind of keeper. You know South Florida's going to be in man-to-man defense, selling out for the run. He doesn't even have to throw it. Keep it and get 3 or 4 yards.
Brooks spins out of a tackle in the backfield. He'll get 2. Key drive here for Tulsa. They need to move the chains a couple of times.
You can't expect to run the ball 3 times and think everything's going to be okay. You got to be a little creative.
So there's a timeout for the Bulls. They have 1 remaining with 2:01 to go. Here's that PAT that we're talking about. Jackson Player, true freshman out of Waco, Texas. Got his hand on it. That forced USF to go for the 2-point conversion on their last touchdown by Barnett, which Tulsa's defense was able to stop. The defense for the Golden Hurricane has been exceptional tonight.
And it's the perfect example of you never take a play off. Oh, it's an extra point, no big deal. He's just going to kick it through the uprights. For a true freshman to play with that kind of commitment, that kind of energy in that moment, and only being 6 feet, you know you got to get penetration as a 6-footer there. Awesome play by Jackson Player. And I'll go back to it, Clay. Don't just call a basic run play right now if you're Philip Montgomery. Get your quarterback who's relatively athletic out in space, maybe a Shamari Brooks swing pass, something like that against South Florida.
It will be Boomer on the keep. Nothing there, and he is down at the 24-yard line. Jamon Thomas cut off his progress.
Takes his final time out of the half.
So now a 3rd down and long for Philip Montgomery.
Timeout.
His team had just 2 wins last year. Bad start this year, but boy, they could really change their attitude with an upset win here tonight. As South Florida has used its last timeout with 1:58 to go. And if they force a 4th down or are able to take over on downs or force a punt, I mean, there's still plenty of time in this ballgame, albeit they're going to be out of timeouts.
Absolutely. And again, all you need is a field goal. But if you're Tulsa right now, this is where you look to some of your better players. Some of the guys that have proven themselves to you and say, how do I get you the ball? Hey, Justin Hobbs, how do I get you the ball? Can I count on you? Or Shamari Brooks, how can I get you the ball out in space? Do not try to overthink this. It's players over plays. Get your best players the football.
They're going to bring in Chad President, their backup quarterback, their big short yardage goal line guy. 0 pass attempts this year. And he'll hand off to Brooks, and he is going to be met and swung down at the 20 by Sawtell. And now it's 4th down. And Tulsa's going to have to punt it away with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go in this ballgame. And the way USF has moved the football here the last couple of possessions, this is a great situation for USF. Their offense has momentum, and like you said, they only need a field goal.
It's the absolute perfect scenario for South Florida. You did exactly what you wanted to do. And if you're Tulsa, you're going to take some time off the clock, no doubt, but for a team that's 1-4, I want to see you make an absolute sellout effort to go win the football game.
And Tulsa will call a timeout.
Tulsa takes its final timeout of the half.
Play clock expiring.
It'll be a full timeout.
And now both teams out of timeouts with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. Boy, Philip Montgomery said to us yesterday, don't let the record fool you. We're going to give USF a battle on Friday night. And they have. Now can they hold on and get the win? It didn't happen last week. They had Houston on the ropes going into the fourth quarter and weren't able to secure that victory. Now can they hold on?
That's what it is, though, right now, because of those play calls that I'm obviously not a fan of. It's holding on. Go win the game. Don't play to lose. Play to win. And your defense is playing great. I get that. But even with a good punt, you're going to need 30, 40 yards as an offense. And that's a lot to ask of your defense in a minute and 9 seconds in college football with the clock stopping on a first down is an eternity.
Well, Bennett has been so good tonight. He's got 8 punts, averaging over 52 yards per kick. They need a big boomer out of him on this one. And this is not his best effort of the night. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Of all the kicks that Bennett has had here tonight, that might have been the worst. And at a costly time, it's just a 38-yard punt. And so now USF takes over, out of timeouts, and a minute and 3 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so if you're Blake Barnett right now and you're starting this 2-minute drive, so you have to understand, 1, where do I have to get into field goal range? That's my number 1 goal. 2, understand no timeout, so sometimes an incompletion is better than a completion. And 3, you hold on to this ball. This team, Tulsa does not get this ball. You go down swinging.
Here's Barnett on first down, getting some heat, and he's just going to sling it out of bounds to stop the clock. Smart play for Barnett. 55 seconds to go. It's Travis Gibson again.
A good play by Barnett. Scrambling around there for 3, 4, 5 yards does not benefit you. Right now it's about time over yardage.
How good is number 15 been? Wow. He's been in the backfield up in Barnett's grill all night. Barnett pressured again, and he'll throw to this sideline. That time it was Miles Mouton up in his cage. Veteran man off the edge.
What's most impressive, Tulsa's getting this pressure with the 3-man rush. It's 3 guys dropping 8 into coverage. Still, if you're Blake Barnett, you understand, I've got 2 downs. Only 3rd down, just get a completion. Find Tyree McCants, get him a completion, force Tulsa to tackle him.
Kobe Weiss is the field goal kicker as long as 38 yards. So that means they need to get around the 20-yard line. Over the middle. Sitting down in the middle is Mitchell Wilcox to make the catch. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. They get to the 42-yard line. Clock moving again. Barnett slides up. Gets away from Gibson. And it's complete to the 28, but a flag is down. That might have been a holding.
Bet you it's on the guy blocking Travis Gibson.
I think you're right.
Holding. Offense, number 77. The 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, what would you do if you were Marcus Norman? I think I would try to hold 2 and get away with it.
Really, because of the situation, I would, if I'm Sterling Gilbert, their offensive coordinator, I'm going to send some help his way. They do, they try to chip him, but Gibson is just relentless. You yank on him like that, that's getting called. And especially in a situation where the referee is very aware this is a passing down. His eyes are a little bit more alert, so that's an obvious hold.
That's 1st and 20. Barnett. Incomplete. Allie Green has had a great ball game, especially here in the second half.
This might be another hold.
I think you're
on
right.
The guy blocking Travis Gibson, man.
Now USF is pointing.
Personal foul. Upping the passer. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty automatic.
It's Gibson with the personal foul.
You know, he was pointing to the sideline, kind of patting his chest in a manner of, that's on me, that's on me. He knew it. He knew it. That was totally an uncalled play right there. And you give South Florida a bunch of yardage. So now if you're Blake Barnett, you're really thinking, I need 10 yards. 10 yards, get to the line of scrimmage, you can spike it and have a field goal opportunity.
I think they'd really like 15 to get Weiss in comfortable range. Barnett's going to take a shot down the sideline, incomplete. Coverage again by Allie Green. Solomon, even if he would have hauled it in, might have been out of bounds. And the clock stops with 14 seconds to go.
Great play again downfield by Allie Green, but we're going to see him again. The contested balls downfield have been great by Tulsa, but now if you're South Florida, if you get a completion that's short of this first down yardage, this game could very well be over. To get a snap off and to get to the line of scrimmage and spike it again under 14 seconds is very, very difficult.
Barnett to McCants. He makes the catch, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Tyree McCants, first down, goal to go with 8 seconds. They'll run up to the line. And Barnett will spike it with 5 seconds on the clock.
Before I called Tyree McCants, he reminded me a lot of Anquan Bolden. This is a play that Anquan Bolden would make. It's man-to-man. You're covered. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to throw the ball somewhere near you. Hopefully you can be physical, use your body to get in between the defender and the ball. Tyree McCants steps up and makes a huge play for Barnett.
And now Kobe Weiss for the lead. He has hit his last 4 field goal attempts in a row, 3 last week, 1 tonight. This is his second attempt from 22. Kick is up and good. And USF avoids the upset in Tulsa. Now we'll see if they're going to put a second or 2 back on the clock. But South Florida with a great comeback here in the second half.
You just set the game clocks to 2 seconds. 0-0-2. Thank you.
They're going to put 2 seconds back on the clock, but it may not matter.
Man, I'm torn. Great kick. Obviously, those are pressure. I don't care if they're 5 yards or 50 yards. There's pressure in that kick right there, especially coming off of a play where the previous extra point was blocked.
And how about Blake Barnett's reaction? He knows he did not have his best game here tonight, but in the second half, with his feet, let a couple of touchdown drives.
After review, there'll be 2 seconds put on the clock, 0-2.
And then that pass to McCants.
Stones.
Right inside the 5-yard line to set up the chip shot field goal for Weiss. Clutch. And USF is 2 seconds away from getting out of Tulsa 6-0.
And remember, Kark talked about Blake Barnett and him wanting to prove himself. I just want an opportunity to prove myself to my teammates. I'll tell you one thing right now, as a quarterback, you just proved yourself, Blake Barnett, to everybody, not only your teammates, but your coaches and all of the South Florida Bulls fans. My heart breaks for Tulsa.
Arizona, Utah coming up in moments. A couple of ticks on the clock. South Florida going to be 6-0 for the 3rd time in program history and the 2nd straight year. Squib kick. This is Sam Crawford. They pitch it, but a nice open field tackle, and that does it. 25-24, USF remains unbeaten. What a comeback here in Tulsa.
How about Blake Barnett gets his degree, gets married, has a baby, transfers, he's a starting quarterback, and now a huge comeback win on the road on national television.
Big sigh of relief for the Bulls. Now we take you to Salt Lake, Arizona and Utah. Bob Wischusen and Brock Heward. So long from Tulsa.